Hello, Staten Island, and welcome to M Squared, Staten Island's fastest growing podcast. We are at Cyborg today at the Realtor Expo for 2023. Check out the hashtag Realtor Expo 2023. So welcome to my co-host, Mike Bloomfield from Techie Geek, and Anthony Rappaciulo from PR Sigil. What up, what up? Good to see you guys. So today...
I'm looking up at myself.
Hey, today's an exciting event.
You look good on camera, Mikey.
So people listening can't see you. People watching will be able to see you. But, so why don't we tell them where we're at? Describe the scene.
So we are in the beautiful Hilton Garden Inn ballroom at the Staten Island Board of Realtors Realtor Expo 2023.
Yeah.
I am on that committee, and I said, why not? Let's do a live recording podcast from Cyborg.
Totally cool.
And they were like, do it. Let's do it. So here we are. We're set up with a multi-camera setup. And we're going to have a fun day. We're going to interview a bunch of people, and we have a great first guest we'll get to in a minute.
So, yeah, we got Mike Scarambola, who's going to be joining us shortly. Typically, we're in a studio, right? This is a completely different animal. I want to compliment you guys for how well you set this up. It looks so professional. We have a lot of surprises for people today. We're going to be raffling off Kevin James tickets. You can either get them one of the raffles today by scanning our QR code, or go online, follow us, make sure you sign up, get your chance to win Kevin James tickets at the St. George Theater.
April 15th.
April 15th.
Coming
what's
up
up with
quick.
you, Rap? What's going on?
There's a lot of people here. No, I'm a little quiet because I was waiting. I got to say, I'm impressed with what I'm seeing. I've never been to this event before, and they do a really nice job. So, Mike, I give no credit to you, but they did a really nice job. So shout out to Cyborg, Fern Valley, and her team, because there are a lot of people. Mike, how many vendors do we have?
I think they have 80 tables inside the ballroom. We have 10 non-for-profits outside in the main hallway.
Yeah, that's great.
There's seminars throughout the day. They have J-Man as the keynote, and he's actually doing a presentation on ChatGPT, which is going to be every realtor should be at. It's going to be a fun event. And then, are we doing a Raps rant today?
No Raps rant.
We need a rant.
No rant. We're just going to do an intro.
I love the Raps rant.
No rant.
Raps rant, please. Let's get the rant going.
Before we do the rant, hold on. We're also going to be interviewing all of the top producers today. Am I correct in that?
Not all of the top producers. If we were interviewing all of the top producers, we'd be here all day.
There's a lot of people winning that award.
Oh, yes. A lot of people. We're going to interview a number. We're going to interview Gary and Fran. Well, maybe not Fran, because it sounds like she might have lost her voice. They're the co-chairs of the event. We have some surprise guests. We're going to grab, different vendors, and we're going to interview a number of top producers as well.
Our first broker realtor that we have coming on is going to be Christine Dehart of Salem Real Estate. She'll be joining us in a little bit. But in the meantime, let's get Scarambola introduced here. Mike, welcome with us.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the invite to the M2 podcast. Loving what you guys are doing. I've been following you guys on Instagram and social media. It's fantastic.
So tell us about your business.
So again, my name is Mike Scarambola. I'm with Absolute Home Mortgage. We are a branch of a mortgage company that's based out of New Jersey. That's the corporate headquarters. I have a branch here on Staten Island. I've been in the mortgage industry now, guys, for 20 years. I can't even believe it went that fast. But 20 years in the industry. We're focused on residential, commercial financing on the mortgage end. Anyone looking to purchase a home, single family, two family, condo, co-op, we can help them finance that property. We're licensed in multiple states. Where I focus mainly my business on, Dan, is New York, New Jersey, Florida, and Pennsylvania.
So in the mortgage game, right, you're basically creating your own brand and your own business to be able to stand out. Everything that we do with this podcast is really about branding and building a self-image and building your own business in a local marketplace. So what do you find to be significant ways or different ways that you stand out in an ocean of people? I mean, it's seriously, the real estate market, the mortgage market, it's overpopulated. So how do you stand out?
Right. So great question. I mean, at the end of the day, the majority of the things that I've done over my career have been referral relationships. But putting yourself out there in networking groups is one of the best ways that I feel that I've gotten my brand and myself out there to mainly not only clients but to referral partners as well. Social media, of course, is the biggest draw for how you can put yourself out there at a fraction of the cost, right? Back in the day, we would always do more print media. but social media happens to be the way to really do it. Billboards, right? You're still seeing them every so often, but they're dead. So social media has been a big play for me. Instagram, Facebook marketing has been something that I've been doing over the last several years that's been very helpful to keep my brand going.
So I want to, go ahead.
No, I have a question because you've done a great job at branding yourself.
Sure.
And that's very important because it was about a year ago now that you made the transition from, one bank to now Absolute Home Mortgage.
Correct.
How did, by branding yourself, did it make that transition easy?
It did. Listen, at the end of the day, you're your own business in the mortgage industry, right? Similar to real estate. So you are your own business. You're marketing yourself. You're your own brand. So for all the years that I've been putting this together and building my brand up, it did make my transition easy because people at this point, me and Rapachulo spoke about it often, right? They want to use you, and you're the brand. You're the people.
They want you. They love you in the suit. You're handsome. Right? They love you.
And they love the suit, right? I love the suit too. But the branding, for what I did over the years, helped me get to the place where I'm at right now and helped my transition to Absolute happen a little bit more seamless.
Awesome. Yeah. I want to jump in and talk about something a little different, Mike. So we're at an expo, which gives you a unique opportunity for branding because you actually had a design, set up, bring in, and create a booth space. Sure. Have you done it before, and what did you do today to differentiate your brand? So,
great question. I've been at this expo now for 12 years in a row, minus COVID where we didn't have the expo, but 12 years in a row. I love what they do here at the Staten Island Board of Realtors. The event holds, there's times where you're going to have 300 people in this room, maybe even more. I've seen this where it was almost 500 people at some point. So we set up a booth every year. In the past, we've done stuff where we gave popcorn out, cotton candy, just to try to attract people to the booth. Listen, at the end of the day, we know what the realtors want. We know what type of marketing material they want and what they want to hear. You want to re-engage in conversations with people that you haven't had in quite some time, and the people that you are doing business with. You want to continue those relationships as well. So today's a great day to not only see all the vendors and see everyone here, but a great day to reconnect with some people you haven't seen in quite some time.
And what's that iPad setup? That's pretty cool. I just looked at it. You have a beautiful setup, a beautiful tall stand.
So yeah, man, I appreciate you bringing that up. So the iPad setup is something that we're bringing different to the market right now. It's launching May 1st. The iPad setup it's called the Loan Buddy. The Loan Buddy is a system that we're going to be able to give to real estate partners in the industry here, locally on Staten Island or wherever we have our real estate partners, New York, New Jersey area, in which they can bring the Loan Buddy to open houses. And in the open house, clients are going to be able to sign in the Loan Buddy on, let's call it somewhat of an iPad platform. And not only can they sign in, their information goes right to a CRM for the realtor, their information goes right to a CRM for us, which is great. So we have that data. And in addition to that, by the way, they can get pre-approved on our digital app right there on that Loan Buddy screen. So it's fantastic.
So using technology to close some deals and make it easy.
Yeah, that's it. Listen, and that's the way the market's going these days, right? So if you even talk about technology in the mortgage business, guys, there's been times in the past, I'm talking about even 10 years ago, 7 years ago, we would have paper files this thick. They're gone. We don't do them anymore. Everything is all digital. We have digital apps that Dan can go in and fill out an application all on his phone, on the couch, all within 10 minutes. And the application.
That's how we just got the house out in Poconos that you helped us with.
Yeah, exactly.
So everything was online, everything was direct into your phone. It was one of the easiest processes that I've ever been through.
Yeah.
Remove friction and you win.
Well, and
frictionless.
That's what we've learned from Amazon, right? People like to place the order and have it at their house within within that day, 1 day, 2 days. So you have to adapt and change, and that's the industry is adapting and changing.
100%. And not only are we doing that, to add to that, we're starting to do digital closings.
Nice.
So they're really removing the paper platform to it. Not every county is accepting the digital closings right now, so it depends on where the closing is that will adapt and do that digital closing. But the e-closings, you can sign documents for our closings the night before.
Yeah,
so you're in and out of a closing in a half hour, 45 minutes.
So I think, we definitely got to get Mike on one of our actual podcasts, bring you in. I think we could sit and talk to you for an hour on a normal podcast
100%.
and go the whole time. But before we let you go, you have any closing tips in marketing and branding for people out there?
Closing tips: stay consistent. Right, consistency wins. For me, it's just a matter of being in front of everybody. Forget about weekly; it's almost daily, so that you're reminding everyone what you do and how you're doing it, and keep bringing information to the table that clients want to see, and more tips and values that they need to hear, specifically in the mortgage field. But that's staying consistent is what I think is the best thing.
And before you leave, where can people learn more about you, your brand, your company?
Great. So again, my name is Mike Scarambolo, Absolute Home Mortgage. You can find us on the web, www.absolutehomemortgage.com. You can look me up right there on our company site, and my name will be in there, and you can log into my application. My phone number is 718-984-2600, and I'm located right here on Staten Island, Amboy and Bloomingdale. So I've been here for 12 years now on Staten Island. So I love the community.
Mike, thanks for joining us and coming by today. Spread the word. We're starting to create these for other people in the business. So if you know of anybody, make sure you share it out there.
I love what you guys are doing. Great job. Keep up the good work. Just don't cut your finger in the morning before an event.
And for those of you who can't see,
right,
Mike cut his finger off this morning.
Mike was at urgent care this morning.
And so, guys, at the end of the first session, don't forget to like, follow, share, and subscribe at M2 Podcast. We appreciate it. Throw some comments in the comment bank.
And we got a special guest joining us real quick, Kathy Del Fiore from the Grace Foundation. We have something really special to share with you. Kathy has been the leading force behind puzzleforautism.com, and we're looking to break a world record here in Staten Island.
It's going to be an awesome day.
Kathy, why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
Well, we're planning for April 19th to break the record at the Ferry Hawk Stadium. We need over 1,700 people. We're getting there, but we still need a lot more. We don't want to break it. We want to smash it.
We want to crush it.
We want to crush. That's it. We don't want to smash it. We want to
crush it. We need all of Staten Island to get involved. All the non-for-profits in Staten Island get involved, and let's just get bodies there. 3,000 people and smash this record. Crush this record.
Whatever we have to do. I mean, who doesn't want to be part of a world record, right? Guinness Book of World Records.
Well, we have a world record, the largest dump on seen from space. It's great, no?
We could have put that puzzle on top of the landfill and done a double crush.
So, Kathy, tell us real quick, before we get Christine Dehart from Salmon Real Estate on, tell us a little bit about the Grace Foundation.
Well, Grace has been around for about 23 years. We provide programs and services for all individuals with autism. It's boutique. It's a beautiful place. We have day hab, com hab, respite. We love the kids. The kids love us, and it's a great place to be.
So, well, thank you, Kathy Del Fiore from the Grace Foundation. We appreciate it. We wish you luck in the world record.
Thank you.
And we'll be out there on April 19th.
We'll be there.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
We got to give a shout out to the finest men and women in blue. We got to speak to them.
We got the 1, 2, 3 right across from us. We'll bring him in a little bit. Anthony Rapaciulo's back with us. Mike Bloomfield from Techie Geek. I'm Dan Ryan. Welcome back to the Cyborg Realtors Expo 2023. We're joined now by Christine Dehart, broker owner of Salmon Real Estate.
Hello.
Thank you. What a warm welcome.
And thank you for coming on, Christine. We appreciate it. So,
she's a loud talker, but get closer to the mic.
I can hear you better over there.
Don't we agreed to pick on Dan today?
Oh, yes. Hey, Dan. Nice.
That's the rule.
Adjust it, move it, get comfortable.
Well, listen, our podcast, Christine, is all about branding. And recently, you became the owner of Salmon Real Estate, which is the oldest brokerage house on Staten Island. So why don't you tell us about what it was like to be able to kind of transition into a legacy brand and take over and make yourself unique?
So I bought a business owned by a very old family on Staten Island, and I had to convert it from the regular stuffy old man realtor mentality to me. Thankfully, you
an
helped
old
with
man.
that.
Handed it to an old man.
I identify as an old man sometimes. Yes, we know.
You're grumpy.
We all know that. So it was tricky to be able to keep the integrity that Salmon's always had, that reputation, but yet add myself into it and my personality.
Well, you've been doing a great job out there. You've got a new series called Locally Grown that's on SI Live right now with Robin Lefkowitz from Northfield Bank. Content, right? Everything is about content right now.
Yes, and it works out perfectly because Northfield wanted to brand themselves as the community bank. I wanted to be the community realtor, and we are able to really, my knowledge is Staten Island, and we were able to play on that, and that I am an original Staten Islander, and that's what the branding was about.
So give me a little background on the new series. I've seen it, but I want to go in depth on that. Talk about the idea behind it, the creation, and what you guys speak about on the new segments.
So the idea behind it was that I am an original Staten Islander. My strongest part is that we've been here since the 1600s. I know Staten Island. So in order to try to get that point out, we partnered with Northfield. Robin and I go to all different spots on Staten Island which you pass every day, don't think about, and don't know the history of. We come in and we tell you the history of it. And we're learning as well. It's not just that I know it all. We are learning. And it really is interesting, and you forget all those little parts of Staten Island and how much history really is here.
Is it true that Ichabod Crane is buried on Staten Island? I've heard that. Is that
Yes.
true? That is true.
Yes.
Where would that be?
It's at the, I think it's the little one. I don't know exactly which one it is, but I think it's
As long as you confirmed it, that was enough for me.
No, it is here.
I think it's off of Arthur Kill.
That's what
I
interesting.
think that's
That
true.
little cemetery.
I thought it was an old wives' tale. I don't know. But
No.
No,
if
it's
Christine
true.
says it's good, I'm in.
The Headless Horseman.
Is it true?
So that's funny you say that because I went to college at Marymount College in Terrytown, New York, which is right next to Sleepy Hollow.
There you
So
go.
we spent a couple of Halloweens in actually Sleepy Hollow Cemetery.
Have you guys taken your
Interesting.
kids to the pumpkin blaze out there?
I have
No.
not.
That's fantastic.
Really?
It's worth the trip. It's thousands and thousands of carved pumpkins, all lit up at night, and you can take tours and take your family and kids.
How far is it?
It depends. If it's a night when there's a Yankee game, it could be like a 4-hour drive once you get through the Bronx, but otherwise it's only about an hour. It's in Westchester.
Okay.
It's above Westchester.
So, no, please.
But going back, we have some exciting new episodes that are coming out. This week, what's going to be released is we have Luke Boyd from Historic Richmond Town coming out and giving us the history of what Richmond Town was and those buildings that are over there. And then also we have a wonderful farmer, one of the local farmers here for Snug Harbor, that's growing produce and product that they actually sell. And they also have a food program for nonprofits that they're able to give away some of that product. So they're doing, it's a little past, present, and future, right?
Little fun fact about Richmond Town.
Fun fact.
We were home to the largest privy ever. Privy is an outhouse,
Mike would have loved
and
it.
it was a.
I thought Privy was in
6
Annandale, located next to the Annandale Terrace. You can rent it out for space.
That's
Well,
the
that's
second biggest.
that's what they've used it as.
This segment sponsored by Annandale Terrace. We'll be
Sponsored by
sending you an invoice.
Stavros.
So, Christine, when you say your family's been here since the 1600s, there's only a handful of the original families that were documented, right? But your family's been here. You know when you came over here. You got a rich history.
Yes.
Tell us about it.
So actually, we settled Port Richmond. If you go to Mariners Harbor, there is a street, Yard Avenue. That is us. And there were 2 rich aunts that basically owned most of Port Richmond and Mariners Harbor. And one of their nephews actually trademarked how to farm the oyster beds, which we owned out there, which is still in effect today.
That's incredible.
I got a question. So we've had various guests sit down with us, and a lot of them have had good things to say about Staten Island, bad things to say about Staten Island, but we are unique, and I love saying that. I'm a Staten Islander through and through. So what are some of the things you think makes Staten Island so unique? The community, the nonprofits. Talk about.
You know something? We're part of the city, but we are such a small town that it's impossible to not. Everywhere they say 6 degrees of separation, Staten Island is 2.
True.
It's always been that way. And you know what? There's no place I can go. You can see everybody walking by here, and of course, they all know who I am.
Of course, well, you're a celebrity.
And-
It's different. I mean,
She's an original
But-
Staten
Right.
Islander.
Anywhere I go. Yesterday, I went to physical therapy for the first time. Oh, you're Olivia's aunt. Olivia just won the cheerleading competition. Olivia's 8.
there you go.
They all know something. And that's what I love about Staten Island. Everybody knows everybody. Everybody looks out for everybody. That's what I love.
But
How
you
do
have to be careful who you talk about because you never know who you're sitting next to and who they know though.
This is correct.
What I was going to say is, how do you think that affects, from a business standpoint, the branding and the marketing that both your company and others, especially those who are here or outside this venue, how do you think that affects their branding and marketing, given that community is so important here on the island?
Well, for me, it actually works 100%. if you start with my father owning a plumbing business and a construction company on the island, his reputation was flawless. My brother owns a plumbing company. My sister works in property management. Everybody knows that we do the right thing and we're good. So that actually works very well for me, and we're all very involved in the community.
Even that was Staten Island. Do the right thing. Only we say that. Do the right thing.
And we keep hearing that.
This
and
is
that's
right.
and that's a reoccurring theme we hear on the podcast is, the guests are talking about how you grow your business on Staten Island is being in the community, being involved, giving back, and more importantly, giving back without expecting anything in return. And that's a big thing here on Staten Island. And unfortunately, we see a lot of businesses that don't do just that.
And that's noticed, and in real estate, there are some realtors that have given us a bad name, but if you walk around this room, there are a lot of very good realtors that do the right thing, that do have the good reputation. So, it definitely makes a difference when I walk in a room and they go, oh, wait, I heard of you. You are with North Shore Rotary. You do an autism bowl-a-thon. You do a breast cancer bowl-a-thon. You run the best event in the island. You run the Oktoberfest. That makes a difference when people see me.
So you're part of a couple different organizations you just talked about. So what's your give back?
So I'm the first to admit it. I was a very spoiled child. I had two great parents. Maybe we didn't have tons of money, but we had everything we could want. We had a lot of love, everything. Now that I am somewhat successful, it's important for me to give back to those people that don't. So I joined Rotary for that reason, because we just can get in the community and do things that others can't, here and abroad, everywhere. So that's important for me.
So do you guys have any events or anything else coming up?
April 30th. Funny you should ask. April 30th is our bowl-a-thon for autism. It'll be at Rab's
I got
Country
the email
Lanes.
yesterday, actually, I think.
Probably.
There you go. Yeah, I was going to say, I got that. It's on the calendar.
It's at Rab's.
Are you going to go?
It's at Rab's, and that event is only for autistic programs and individuals on Staten Island. That's what I like. My money stays here. We've helped a lot of organizations, but we bought a van for a family. We bought a washer and dryer, big things, little things. One family needed an adult wheelchair and couldn't afford it. We were able to step in and buy it.
That's great.
So what do you have, like words of wisdom, tips? We spoke about community. We spoke about branding. Some sort of words of advice or words of wisdom, both about community and marketing.
The honest answer is what Mike said.
That's never the truth. Anything Mike says is definitely incorrect. Let's rewind that.
That hurts
David,
saying
we're going to
it.
cut that.
That hurts saying that.
Can't believe you said that out loud.
I know. But you never know who you're sitting next to.
True.
So, we go out and we always say we have to always be us. I have to realize that I'm representing Salmon Real Estate. I'm representing North Shore Rotary every time we go out. So, and that's what you have to remember. You don't know, if you go out and you sit there and go, oh, that Mike Bloomfield, he's a real jerk. Guess what? Mike's going to hear that somehow, some way.
I thought you were going to say most people would have agreed, but
Well,
Turn around and be like, oh, I agree. I don't like that, Mike.
One of the consistent themes though,
jerk.
one of the consistent themes that we keep hearing though is that working and operating in Staten Island, it's a lifestyle. It's not just a 9 to 5. It's what we become, right?
right. And it's a reputation. And that's what needs to open the doors. I got a phone call yesterday from a realtor in Manhattan that I talk to all the time, very, very large. Talked to him all the time. He called me. He says, I have a friend that has a house in Staten Island. I told him he has to call you directly. Because my reputation goes first. And he knows I'm going to do the right thing by whoever he gives me.
and you have a good reputation, which helps.
Yes. Yes. Thank God.
How can people learn more about you, the series, your real estate group?
So if you go to salmonrealestate.com, we have a very active website that we have everything on. We have a YouTube channel as well. So follow us. We'll definitely have more for the growing locally.
So you can find Locally Grown also on Northfield Bank's YouTube channel, on their social outlets, and also on SI Live.
Nice. So follow, and subscribe.
And the one question I have, this is important
This is
on
not
Locally
going good.
Grown. I watched a few of it.
It's not going good.
And what's it like to have Dan from Dan on the Street, narrating that?
Dan, it's not Dan, it's the voice of God. I don't know what you're talking about.
There it
Mike.
is.
I think
I don't know what you're talking about,
I think I
Mike.
heard
I'm sorry.
Dan on the Street narrating that.
Dan on the street?
voice
You
of
are the
God.
voice of God.
The Voice of God has a Chicago accent.
Dan on the street, yeah.
One, I just needed to get that clip in there. It's the new one they had us load up.
I appreciate it. No, actually, we started filming the second season right now. Christine was one of the guests. Mike was one of the guests on the first season. We're going to have you guys back on. Mike was already back on with John Westbay, renowned artist and street artist. So everything that Grace Foundation is doing is great with the marketing and everything like that. I know that they'll be at the Bowl-a-thon with
They
you.
always are.
And we're looking forward to the new things that you're doing. You're expanding, right? Like things are going really well for Salmon. So it's been great seeing you come in from the first day that you told me that you were buying the brokerage, and then how you've grown with it.
And now we're going into Jersey.
Nice. Congratulations.
Awesome. Congrats.
Well, we know I love Seaside Heights, so it starts there. But
Well, it makes sense. That's the progression, right? It's
Right.
Staten Island, New Jersey, Florida, right? That's it.
I have
Next.
agents that'll work New Jersey. I will tell you, straight up, I'm a Staten Islander. You don't want me to be a Jersey agent. But I do have agents that'll work Jersey for me.
Isn't it better though? 30-day closings. People are nicer from what I hear. People are
I think
cordial
that-
They
out
are
there.
That's
still
false.
actually in bidding wars.
Really, yeah.
Yeah. I like my Seaside Heights. I like my development down there.
Love it.
That's my fun.
Wildwood, Seacrest, beautiful out there.
Yep, I'll be there Saturday for the St. Patrick's Day parade.
Nice.
Well, Christine Dehart, thank you for joining us today. Thank you for what Salmon Real Estate does in the community, what you do in the community, and what everybody in your family does. So thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Spread the word. Let people know that we're raffling off Kevin James tickets today. They can come up, scan the QR code either off the tablecloth or the TV. We have some other fun guests, surprises, anything. So if you want to send somebody over.
I definitely will.
So thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much
Thank
for
you.
having me, guys.
Take care.
Hey,
That's good. I want that.
You got Dan. Do you know you were looking and talking, and you totally missed that he almost fell off his chair?
No.
The whole chair collapsed, and he
David just now?
Yeah, you missed it before.
Come on.
Usually we got the videos of Bloomfield.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
even taking a spill. He almost cut his finger off this morning.
Yeah, that is true.
so we are here with our next segment of the M Squared podcast, coming to you live from the Hilton. Cyborg Day, Realtor Day. We have a gold top producing agent broker with us here, Michelle Nicolo. Michelle, how are you?
Thank you. Yes, Michelle Nicolo from.
Nicolo, I am sorry.
It's okay. It happens all the time. Michelle Nicolo from Di Tommaso Realty.
So this podcast is all about branding, marketing,
Yes.
community, Staten Island as a whole. So tell us a little bit about what you do as an agent and how your branding affects what goes on day to day here
Well,
in Staten Island.
branding is really important nowadays, right? So I do social media, Instagram, Facebook videos, reels, constantly doing reels, interviewing my clients, and trying to be part of different organizations. But it's important as a local realtor to let the community know that you're here and able to help them.
So the one thing she said is consistency, and we talk about that, and we just had Christine Duhart on, and
Yes.
it continues to come up, consistency. And you said you're doing Instagram reels. Are you doing one a day? How often are you doing?
To be honest, I do one a week.
One a
okay?
week.
I
It's better than none.
I should be
Tell you
doing
that
more,
much.
but that one a week, you got to get your hair done, and you're thinking about it the entire week. What can I bring that is substance to the table that is, that people want to hear?
Can I give you a tip, just a quick tip?
Yes,
You
please.
don't have to do your hair. You don't have to do your makeup. You can just take this, point it, shoot it, upload it.
I know.
It doesn't have to be perfectly produced. It just has to make sense. It has to have an attention-getting headline.
Right.
And just share value.
So I'm going to give you a challenge. So
Please.
It's going to April 1st this weekend, I believe. We're a couple days away.
April Fools.
April Fools. By the end of April, I'm gonna make sure I follow you. I want to
Okay.
see at least 3 a week.
3 a week.
We're
By the
all
end
going to
of
follow
April.
you. That's true.
Well,
We'll all
listen.
follow.
Okay.
We'll definitely follow you. But one of the big things that, especially from the bigger influencers that we've been working with at the Grace Foundation, some of the guys that are coming in, we just had Marco Lombardi come in. We had the Staten Island's funny guy a couple weeks ago. All that they're doing is they're pre-making content. So they'll record their content and they'll get their personality up. They'll do their thing a month out, 2
Right.
months out, and they have all this content that's in the bank. And what Anthony's saying is just you have your phone, create the content. Everybody's got a camera in their hand. So continue to build on that content, and the more frequently that you get it out there, they know their cadence, right? They watch, if we post twice a week, I'll get more interaction. If I don't post for a couple of days, the next time I post, I get more likes and views, and And it's a strategy on how to be able to distribute that content in.
Michelle, do you know when you get the most interaction or the most likes? Do you test it and say, you said you do it once a week and you prepare, which is great.
Yes.
But have you done it at varied times? And have you done it on different platforms to see what works better when?
You know what? I think what works is being as natural as possible, not sitting in front of a table or, composed. People like to see me out there speaking to others or, how my day's going. What do you do? How do you interact? They want a natural, local friend,
Right.
who's working. Yeah.
Someone's providing value. We find that a lot of the schools that we deal with, for instance, anytime between 6 and 7 a.m., we could post anything. I mean, not anything, but anything between that hour is going to get so much feedback, so many likes, so many shares, and so many comments. If we were to take that same piece of content and run it at 11:30 a.m. any day of the week, zip.
Yeah, I think
Literally nothing.
The best is the morning and even around 5. I think around 5, 6 o'clock, people do. It's kind of, you lose around 7, 8.
It's when you're unwinding, right? You first get home from work and you're unwinding and you. I do it myself. I'm going through and I first getting yelled up on my door. Get off your phone. Get off your phone. But
you're relaxing.
I need my unwinding time a little. Like work hard.
Saturday mornings are great too. Like when people are having that cup of coffee.
Yep.
Around
They
8,
get to
9 o'clock.
disconnect.
Right.
At night, though, food clients do well. Interestingly enough,
True.
because now you're hungry, right? You're looking for something to eat, you're looking for something to do, and all of a sudden you're getting Instagram posts about the restaurant down the street that's offering something, has got cocktails on special. And that kind of content does well at night. So it's kind of just looking at it and approaching it as different buckets and where you're going to put your content.
Now, you can take part in any digital campaign. It's smart. It's something you should consider, especially when you know your own business, you know your hours, you know your seasonality. But the one thing I think is pretty unique right now is like what you're doing is great because it's giving people actual content. It's giving people something to look into where it's not just a real estate broker putting up sold.
Yeah,
everywhere.
Exactly.
It's
Closed,
giving
sold,
you
in contract.
information and content that's valuable. It's something that's what you're building your brand around, your own personal brand, because you're with a legacy brokerage house, right? Frank DiTomaso is great. DiTomaso Realty is an incredible place on the island, but you're standing out in that crowd.
And
I want people to know who I am, so it's important that they say, oh, this is Michelle. Oh, she likes coffee in the morning. So do I,
Right.
Something that we can relate to.
And you're doing a really good job with that because you're going outside the box.
Yes.
Right? Michelle also joined the SIDC, and I've seen you at the SIDC events. Something that most agents haven't done. They don't realize that you could go ahead and join another group and network in different ways. And so I applaud you for that.
Well, thank you guys for, having this podcast with me. It really helps. And I appreciate what you do.
So how can people find you?
They can find me on Instagram, Michelle Nicola Real Estate, NicoloSells.com, my website, and on Facebook, Michelle Nicola.
Before you leave, I am a non-real estate guy, so talk to me a little bit about this prestigious award that you won, how you qualified to win it, and talk about the title you just received, because we're excited for you. Congratulations.
Well, I sold about 35 homes last year, so to receive gold, I think you need to sell 32. Last year I won silver, and that was 26 homes. But all my business is basically a referral-based business. Someone talks about me, had a success, and they give me business that way. I need to brand myself to get out to a larger base.
How many gold awards did they give today?
Where's the book?
Is it a dozen?
No,
is it
it's
more?
about 20 people. Around 20.
And how many agents are there?
I think
2,200 agents.
2,200. So
about 2,200 agents on the island.
20
Less
out
than
of
1%.
2,200.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. Congratulations.
Yeah,
well
all
deserved.
their awards are about 10% of gold, silver, and bronze. 10% on top producers.
Earlier today, Dan won the award for most lustrous hair in the ballroom. I don't know if you've seen that.
It is quite.
We think it
really
might be
nice.
hair plugs,
Yeah.
though.
Well,
I mean,
sure.
my husband doesn't have hair. He's still very attractive, but he doesn't have any. So yes,
So he's
this
very
is a
proud.
treat. Yeah.
So it's great having you out here. It's packed today. So
Thank you. Thanks
this
again,
is-
guys.
Thank you.
We're glad to have you again. If you want to give any parting words, any tips or tricks, or anything that you normally share
Yes,
on your
just-
reels.
Yes, don't give up. Don't get discouraged with the interest rates. I spoke to a very wealthy man the other day, and I said to him,
I was looking at property in Florida, and I got discouraged. I said, geez, I should have came out here, a while back. And he said to me, I said, when's the great time to buy? He said, Michelle, it's always a great time to buy. And that's the tip that I would give you.
Michelle,
Thank you.
Michelle Nicolo, Di Tommaso Realty. Thank you for
very
joining
much.
us.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Yeah.
All right, we are back for our next segment. We are now joined by Lori Hesterhagen Ficara
Got it.
of
Nailed
Di
it,
Tommaso
nailed it.
Realty. Way to give me the hard name.
We got another gold winner.
You did great.
We got another gold winner.
Another
right?
gold winner from Di Tommaso. So apparently they're doing something right over there.
That's right. They definitely are. Frank's awesome.
It's
Whole
more-
office is great.
So the qualification is more than 32.
So I had 33 sales last year.
So, Lori, this whole podcast is about branding, marketing, and I know you personally, obviously, and I've been following what you do, and I'm following you because what you're doing is better than what you used to do, and I think it's very interesting that you've now taken your content to video form, right? Typically, in the past, you haven't done that. So, talk a little bit about what has made you make that transition and how that transition to more video content and more photos and videos of yourself in front of the homes, how that's helped you become a gold winner here today.
So I have to be very honest. This is my first time ever doing anything like this. Video isn't very comfortable for me. It's something you definitely have to get used to, but it's definitely the way of the future. If I look at my kids when they're sitting on their phone, there's not one of them are stopping and reading any posts. They're all just scrolling. Right? So some realtors just want to sell a couple houses every year, make some side money. This is my career. I'm in it for the long haul, so I have to change with the way things change, and I recognize that. So I started videos, again, very much out of my comfort zone. I'm a very big into community service my entire life. So I've done it forever and never advertised that I did because I always felt you do good things without sharing. But what I've noticed is, number one, if I do share on social media, I get more help from people. If I share on social media, it almost seems like nowadays if something's not on social media, it didn't happen.
Right. If you didn't post it, it's not real.
Yeah, which was a very uncomfortable thing for me to do in the beginning, like really awkward. I always felt funny about it. So what happened with the videos is, number one, I've always fostered dogs. And I work all the time, obviously. I work crazy, so fostering dogs, bringing them into my house, now it's more my family's fostering dogs. So they do it, they let me do it because they love me. They like it, but they don't have a passion like I do. So I didn't want to totally overwhelm them. So I started figuring out ways that I could help the rescues as well. So what made me most comfortable was I started to do videos and always holding a rescue dog because, number one, I felt like people would tune in a little bit longer, give me a couple extra seconds, like, hey, what's
Everyone
that cute
loves
puppy?
a puppy.
Yeah,
Everybody.
they don't want to see me.
Puppies
They want to
sell.
see the
Puppies
puppy,
sell.
right? So puppies, dogs, there's so many. So what I did the first time was, it was my cousin's house that I was selling. So I took the chance on him. And I had
Always risk family.
That's right.
You
That's
can't
right.
lose. You can't lose.
That's right.
What's the
That's
worst? You're going to fire you, right? What's it going to do?
Yeah, it worked out really good. I had a tremendous response from the video, and I had a lot of people then tuning in. I realized, okay, my cousin's house got double exposure because all the dog people are now
Exactly.
sharing my stuff, and anybody with a house is looking at the dog too. So I'm getting the rescue recognized, that dog recognized, and my client's house. So it made me more comfortable doing a good deed instead of just, I want to get business. I don't want anybody to ever think it was just about that.
So
it helped.
there's a lot of agents and brokers in your position that you just said, not with the dogs, that's unique, but in the position where they're kind of hesitant to make that transition to video. Do you have any tips or thoughts or words of wisdom that got you over that hurdle of being afraid to then creating the content you're creating?
You have to just do it. It's never going to be perfect. I'm going to have a fat roll over here. Oh my God, the camera's in the wrong spot. Or, I look awkward. Or you stumble. I think it's very hard. So kudos to anybody who does it. They're successful. And I follow a lot of people. I'm in coaching with real estate. And I know that is definitely
the people that are the most successful, I realize, are doing that all over the country. I don't think people are doing it as much here. It's just starting.
Well, M Squared's trying to change that.
So, I mean, what she said, just do it. I had this exact conversation over the weekend. One of my buddies is a chef. He works for one of the larger search engines of the world, if not the largest.
Larger. Wink, wink.
But he ultimately, he's a great chef. He's a great talent. He's got a focus in veganism. He has a focus in things that people are interested in and has a niche brand to what he's doing. But when I talked to him about getting on camera, he says, I'm not that guy. I can't do it. And I said, just do it. Exactly what you were saying. Just do it. Let's do it.
It's never going to be perfect.
No.
Maybe one day, right?
But it doesn't need to be perfect. That's
it doesn't.
People think it needs to be perfect, but what is perfect? If you want perfect, you're going to watch a Scorsese flick. You don't need perfect. This is social media. It's in the now, right here, right now.
So my kids are actually the ones filming me, editing, and making the videos. And they laugh at me. They're like, Mom, you're crazy. You have a huge personality. You're always doing funny things, and you're so like this on the camera. I go, I just can't get there. So that's what I want to do, is just be more me, and it's a really hard thing to do. But I think we'll get there, right?
Well,
Go ahead.
I love it. I see it. And I want to ask her the one question, though, because she does do something that rap hates.
Uh-oh.
And rap thinks...
I love Lori. Listen,
but you
let it be known.
Numerous times, and she does something that you hate.
Go ahead.
She was on a billboard on Armstrong and Wilson.
That's true. She's on a billboard right now on Arthur Kill Road.
So
I pass it every day and I wave.
I canceled that billboard because I was listening to a podcast, and I think it was something like, "Get your face off that billboard, girl." Did you ever hear of them?
It might have been rap.
We preach that. Because the theory is that if you were to take that investment and give it to someone like the SI Media Group or PR Cision or any of the marketing companies here on the island, you're able to take that investment and track it. So we're not anti-billboard. It's just that you're never going to know unless someone calls and says, I saw you on a billboard, which 99% of the people aren't going to say that.
Unless you're doing different tracking numbers, different QR codes, different everything.
I'm going to explain to you a little. I'm definitely not.
It's okay, but I still love you.
I reached out to Mike actually about this recently because exactly what you said is something that I would like to do. So just so you understand, I got my real estate license in 2018. I'm not in my 20s. It's not like I've been doing this my whole life.
She's 24 years old.
That's right. That's right. So I'm in my 30s. So what happened was I felt like I had to put billboards and really put it out there that I'm selling real estate because people that... Lori Hesterhagen's lived on Staten Island since she's born. So there's so many people, they don't know that I'm selling real estate. So I felt like I had to advertise a lot, which I did. And I'm taking a step back from that now, and now focusing more on the social media. And I had asked Mike for some help, to...
Mike's help is the best. Always accept his advice, because even if he's not right today, next week he'll be right twice.
Usually
so
I'll just give you to someone that knows better.
Take it now.
I'm also a director for the Staten Island Board of Realtors, and that's where I had the pleasure of meeting Mike, and I'm so glad that I did, because he pointed me in the right direction with a couple of things, and that's one of my goals. That I'm going to get that done. But it's not easy. It really isn't. I think for the younger generation, that's all that they do. But for me, it's a little harder. So
they make it look easy.
Well, they grow up with the phone in their hand.
Exactly.
I didn't have a phone when I moved to New York.
You had a beeper.
I did have a beeper.
A Motorola two-way pager.
I did, but no, I moved from Chicago to Brooklyn, and you didn't need a phone. I check in with my parents on Sunday.
Right.
I lived in Italy for a year.
He likes to throw that
on
in
Sunday. It was the best time of my life.
Irishman.
I would go back. Listen, I've been to both. I've been to Ireland. I've been to Italy. I'd go to Italy first.
And which one's better? Because I'm Irish. My husband's Italian.
I would go back to Italy first. Okay. I love Ireland. I love my family there and everything like that. But where I lived in Tuscany, in Lucca, it was the most romantic, gorgeous place. Food was excellent. People were great.
You heard it here on M Squared first. Italy over Ireland all day.
Yeah, I'm not going to.
That's what just happened.
My husband doesn't hear it. No, we actually were planning to we're married 25 years.
God bless you.
This May. So we were planning maybe a trip to Italy. We'll see.
It's an excellent spot.
Yeah.
So Lori, where can people learn more about you, follow you, like you, see your listings?
So I'm just starting with getting everything going. So of course I'm on Facebook, Lori Hesterhagen Ficara. I just started Instagram about a month and a half ago.
Nice.
I'm starting YouTube. This is the beginning. This is the beginning.
This is going to be a good piece of content for all three of those channels, because once we air this, we'll share it with you, and you could circulate this across your channels as well. It's going to work for you. This will be content that you could use, chop up. It'll work well.
Yeah, it's what I need. It's really it's a whole nother education. It really is. It's interesting, and I'm happy to be learning about it.
So, Lori, thank you for joining us. We really appreciate you. We'll point people in your direction over at DiTomaso Realty. Make sure you spread the word. We're raffling off tickets to Kevin James at the St. George Theater.
Oh, awesome.
Mike, what's the date?
April 15th at the St. George Theater.
So people, if they just come over, scan the QR code over here, they'll be able to get entered.
Awesome. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you,
Thank
Lori.
you for
Congrats.
having me.
Thank
Thank
you. How'd you lose your voice?
I really don't know.
Don't worry.
I think
that
it's a
usually
couple-
happens to me when it's busy and I'm supposed to talk. And
This
Yelling
weather's
at
been crazy,
hundreds
though.
of vendors and people. That could have had something to do with it.
Actually, no. The vendors were all wonderful except for something called Techie.
Yeah, he's the worst, that guy.
It's a pain in the ass.
they kept taking tables.
Taking tables. Walks in like he owns the place, this
I
guy.
know. But you know what? There's still something about him that we liked.
It's not his looks.
Not most.
Well, we laugh at him when he falls.
So we started talking but we're here for our next segment. I'll take this intro again.
Oh, you got the intro?
I got the
There
intro.
you go.
We're here now with the next segment with Fran Reale, one of the co-chairs of the Cyborg Realtor Expo 2023. And Fran is with Better Homes and Gardens Safari Real Estate.
That's right.
What's that hashtag today? It's hashtag Realtor Expo 2023.
That is correct.
There you go. So we're rocking and rolling right here. What a day. What a day.
You've done an excellent job. The room is hopping. There's people everywhere. It's been, what time are we? It's nearly 1 o'clock. It's been nonstop since 10:30 now.
It's packed. This is incredible.
It's great. The amount of exposure that we've had, the willingness of everyone to do some type of video and post it and share it has probably lent itself to creating more of a buzz than we've ever had before. This is my second year of chairing this event, and this year we found a couple of ways to tweak it and improve a little bit on what we thought the vendors might be enjoying a little bit more. One major change was the pipe and drape, which gave the vendors a little bit of space and some private, like a little bit more privacy, along with the ability to actually speak with the people who are stopping by the booth. That makes a nice difference.
I like the piping drape. I think it really makes it look complete and gives you privacy. You're not bumping the person behind you, and I really like
the
it.
rows. Very nice.
So,
And I think it made it look professional, is what I thought.
oh, this
Yeah.
is more than professional. This is great. I've been to trade shows in Vegas, and this is outstanding. This is really, it's done well. The flow of the room is good. We talk about marketing and branding. You giving and being part of things like Cyborg, it's a great part of your story, but there's a lot more to your story as well. So you have a very unique brand with Safari. So tell us a little bit about it and your personal side of things. Like, how do you stand out and make yourself unique? When we heard earlier, there's 2,200 agents on the island?
Yes, sir.
It's a big number.
It is a big number for a small island. Well, I've been selling real estate in New York and New Jersey for 42 years. And praise God, I do have a very large book of business and people who enjoy the way I do business. Big difference as an owner, along with my husband Frank of Better Homes and Gardens Safari, is that brand, that franchise that we purchased, is a lifestyle brand. So that difference allows people to understand that they're not just buying a home, but they're also buying what else goes with that home. Things like how easy it is to get to transportation. What kind of fun things can they do on the days that they have off? We're a blue-collar island mostly, and people work on different shifts. So where people just figure that realtors are busy only on the weekend, not so. You have nurses who work 12-hour shifts for 3 days, and then they're off maybe on a Thursday and want to go look at a home. And the same thing with police officers, firemen. So that's a big chunk of our business. But the lifestyle brand is a little bit more of something that helps us stand out to your question, because we do point out to people that they do have the ability to go to the boardwalk. They have the fishing pier. You have history all over the island, like the conference house. You have an ice skating rink. There's so many things here that need to be brought to the attention of the consumer as well, besides just the particular one.
So you're talking about Staten Island, the community. That's one of the biggest resounding topics that always come up on the show. So tell us a little bit, 42 years in business.
Yes.
Tell us how important the Staten Island community is and how it is an integral part of you as a business owner and of your brand.
Oh, that's a loaded question. First of all, I was born and raised in New Brighton. I grew up in a community that was absolutely amazing. Everybody in the community were from different ethnic backgrounds, different religions, but the one thing that made us all the same was that we were all poor. And being poor, when somebody had a little bit more, that one family had more than another, they would share. And if something was wrong in the family, we all congregated and supported them. So when I met Frank, who came from Manhattan, we've been married 53 years now.
God bless you.
Thank you. And we're together 56. So, and he still comes home every day, so that's pretty good.
There you go. Well, that's the food, right? Because I'm sure you're cooking something delicious.
I do, I cook. So the difference of what I wanted to have happen for our children, I wanted to have 9 boys. We wound up with 4, so God was good.
9.
And we raised our family in a neighborhood that was very similar. And the boys grew to learn how to give back to the community, understood that there were people who maybe for the holiday needed more than we had, and we would either invite people to come to our home or we would bring food to them. And they understood the strength of that we are all under one sky, and we all at some time might need something from another person, or that person might need something from us. So that's kind of how I grew up. That's what I helped to pass on along with Frank to our children, and now to our 13 grandchildren.
Wow, 13.
That takes a village, right?
Yeah, it does. I say that all the time. And on May 14th, we had our very first great-grandchild, Wesley Peter Gunther. And he would have been our son Frank, who was also a realtor, who passed away in 2007. It would have been his very first grandchild. So I know Frank is looking over his new grandson.
So the follow-up to that would be, you guys are a legacy brand here on the island. Everyone knows who you are, right? I mean, there isn't anyone, definitely everyone here, but everyone on the island knows your face and your husband's face. Any words of wisdom or tips for people who are up and coming in the industry, to get where you are now currently?
Absolutely. First of all, they have to be able to be willing to give of themselves, understand where there is a need, and support that need in any way they can. There have been in our lives, unfortunately, many tragedies, scary things that happened. After Frankie passed away, we found out what happened to him. He'd had a heart issue that nobody knew about. We started a foundation in his memory. And to this day, actually Saturday, we're going to be testing 160 children free of charge with an echocardiogram and EKG with money that we help raise during the year so that these kids can have a baseline. And most recently, with that testing, we had 20 children tested, and out of those 20, there were 3 children who had a heart problem, unbeknownst to anyone.
Wow.
And then the next week, we did 22, and 4 of those kids had a heart issue. And so that's far beyond what should be happening. So we are starting, actually we have a petition of about 2,000 names so far, where we are trying to get people together so that I can take the paperwork to Governor Hochul and have her make sure that there is a change in the children's entrance physical to high school, where it includes an echocardiogram and EKG. That's all I want to do.
That's
and
great.
that'll save every child going into high school.
So how can people find that petition?
They would call Fran Reale at 917-670-7068, because right now I can't remember what the email
It's been a long
is.
week. You put together, look at this event you put together. It's all right. You're allowed to forget a little. Come on.
Now,
A lot
my
on your
last
plate.
question for you, Fran, before we let you go and we let you save your voice a little bit.
I could talk all day, trust me.
Okay. So, 42 years, you've seen a world of change in this business. Do you think that you have to learn to adapt and get better, or do you think you have to constantly evolve?
Well, if I could share that with every realtor, young and old, you have, and what I mean by young and old, in the business, not necessarily age. But what they really need to do is to remember that they have to become a chameleon and adapt to whatever is going on in the marketplace. Otherwise, they'll become a dinosaur and become extinct. So you're always reinventing yourself to handle what the market is throwing at you.
And I think that's going to be the name of the segment, just so you know. We're going to have it in big block letters, dinosaur extinct. That's it.
There
Got
you
it.
go, I like it.
And she does a good job with that, and they do a good job. But I will say, once again, that maybe with realtors, billboards are not dead, because Fran was also on a billboard.
Yes.
That I got to see for...
In Eltonville, down the block.
Right. That was early in COVID, if I remember, by my
Yes.
house, that I would see. And Fran's a big fan of Captain Morgan, and so she mimicked his pose, and it was great.
Yeah.
But is that true? Is that real? Did you mean to do it that way?
Actually, I do like that pose. There is...
Good. That's why I thought it was phenomenal. But you hear people say that, you know.
Yeah, no,
It's memorable.
Right.
Right.
You know what it is. It's iconic knowing that pose. But whether you did it on purpose or it just worked out, that's the
No,
question.
I did it on purpose.
All right, so smart. Good for you.
Only because I wanted people to realize that I'm a strong woman. I don't drink Captain Morgan, but I certainly could look like it.
But it works, and it's memorable, and people, it's the same way when I wore the cape, right? I wore the cape. I look stupid. Not saying you look stupid in that pose.
It's okay.
But when I wore a cape, I look stupid, but it's memorable, and it made some good moments.
And
that's
what
branding
we
and
want.
marketing,
That's
right?
Branding and marketing, always.
So look for me in a cape.
And look for me as Captain Morgan's
We just got to get you a peg leg
Look for me.
or an eye patch.
iPads. I'll work
There
with
you go. So, Fran, where can we learn more about the brand, the real estate company, the brokerage, social media?
Really, you could go to franreale.com and it'll get you to all the information. We do have the Safari brand on it too, but we also have every listing that's in New York and in New Jersey on that website as well. So people can look and see what's going on.
That's beautiful.
Thank you, Fran.
So, Fran, thanks for coming on. Again, Fran Reale, Better Homes and Gardens, Safari Real Estate. We are here at the Realtor Expo 2023.
That's the correct year.
And we appreciate everything you did. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. I greatly appreciate
And great
it.
job. This
Love
event is
you guys.
fantastic.
Love
Great
you
job.
guys.
All right, so we are back for our next segment of the N Squared podcast. We are broadcasting live from the Real Estate Expo here at the Hilton. Beautiful day, great event. We have with us today Gary Fleming, owner-broker of Emerald Elite Realty. Gary is also the president of the South Shore Business Improvement District located here in Staten Island. And you are, if I'm not mistaken, one of the co-chairs of this event. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yes, you got everything right. My whole entire resume right there.
Can't believe it.
That's-
Because I probably wrote it.
He forgot.
Probably.
Did he say the Vogo booth?
Oh, I didn't say the Voda booth.
So you can get your whole resume.
And owner of the Voda booth. So Gary is a unique person to bring on, I think, guys. And now we all know Gary very well. But I think he's unique when it comes to marketing and branding because Gary, throughout his career, has worn many hats. And Gary has established himself as a very unique brand, back from the days of Partners in Sound, then previously at Emerald Photography Studios, located in Eltonville. So he, over the years, has branded himself as an integral part of the community and as a key component of Staten Island itself.
Yeah,
Talk
but
about...
Also, with all those hats that he wears, he stands out. he rises in the crowd of anything that he's doing. You're one of the most recognizable, most notable people on the island. Like, wow.
Can we get your?
Sure,
I know it might be hard with the headphones, but can we get your? There we go.
There you go.
His signature eyeglass removal.
Yep.
But to just go off of what Dan said, which I think he was blowing smoke up your ass, but just to go off what Dan said, talk about the many hats you've worn and how throughout, to Dan's point, you have managed to rise above the rest and be a distinguishable name and a distinguishable brand.
So, I mean, listen, ever since I was a kid, I always loved music, and DJing was my passion. I started my own DJ company when I was 14, did my first party, and then from there it just blossomed into a huge company where I had multiple crews that worked for me for many years. And throughout those years, I saw as I was getting older, the younger DJs would come in. So I made the decision to merge and partner up with those people from Partners in Sound. So Anthony Girardi, one of my best friends, asked me to come in, join. I did that, and I did that for half my life, more than half my life. And I had my photography studio on top of that. We had our photo booth company within all of that, and probably, I would say 2 years ago, I just decided I couldn't do it anymore. So about 3 years ago, I got my real estate license, and I was fortunate enough to do the amount of sales that were needed, required to get my broker's license. And once I got my broker's license, I had to retire, in a sense, from the entertainment world. I still own the photo booth company, but I handed that over to my son, who runs that for me now, so I can do real estate full-time, because I sat on the board at Cyborg for a year, and this is my second year of co-chairing the Realtor Expo, and next year I take it over on my own with another co-chair. So we're excited about that to really have it even bigger and better.
The event has really come together. We were just interviewing Frank, and was saying it's been packed all day. Everything seems to be going really well. So congratulations,
Thank
to
you,
a good
Michael.
job.
I appreciate
So
it.
something you just said though, Gary, was that you got your license 3 years ago. 3 years ago, it's kind of something weird happened in the world, right? The world kind of broke for a minute, and what a crazy time to get into real estate, right?
Yeah, so I was actually supposed to open up a catering hall and restaurant. Took 2 years of my life to do that. Unfortunately, that did not pan out. And I sat down with my financial planner, and he said, hey, you know what? Why don't you go get your real estate license? And I said, my real estate license, who wants to do that? I got to take a course, I got to take a test. I barely made it through high school. So he said, Gary, he says, with your network of people and the amount of people that you know, he says, you'll do very well. So I took the course. It took me almost 8 months. We were supposed to do it in 3 months. It took me 8 months to do it. I did it. I completed it. I passed. Did real estate in New York for a year, and then I decided to get my Jersey license as well. Best thing I ever did, best decision I ever made. And like I said, I said, you know what, I can do this on my own. And I decided to open up, my own brokerage, and I took my name that I had for my photography studio, Emerald Studios, and turned it into Emerald Elite Realty, because the name has been branded for so long. I said, why not take advantage of it and use it to my advantage?
That's the perfect segue, because my next question is going to be, all we talk about is the importance of community and the importance of people, right? So you're unique. Talk about how you've managed to sort of marry two different sorts of clientele and two different worlds. One of when you were in the DJ business and photography business, and now you're kind of going to that portfolio, and now you're getting those folks their first home.
Yep.
And so talk about that kind of.
So for me, it actually worked out great. I go back to my financial advisor, and he hit the nail on the head. He said, Gary, he says, all of those people you've done their weddings for are going to need houses. All of those people you've been photographing their families for 20, 30 years are going to sell their house and buy a new house or are going to move to Jersey. So I took all of that to my advantage. I literally I came into my brokerage, my original brokerage, they said, put together a list of your contacts. Now, most people come in, from their phones, they have maybe, 300-400 contacts. I walked in with 11,000 contacts, and the guy looked at me and goes, how is this possible? I said, well, listen, I'm doing this over 30 years, so I took all my DJ contacts, all my photography contacts, and I actually put them in and said, you know what? I'm going to reach out to these people, and then I am constantly in their face. When I sent out that first email, I can't even tell you how many people came back and said, this was made for you. You were made to be a real estate agent. So it worked out good.
So real estate's all about relationships.
I would say 90% of it on Staten Island is all about relationships, but that's with all of my businesses. I never really advertised. Everything that I used to do was word of mouth. Listen, this is before we had social media platforms. So everything that I did, even my photography studio, we were successful because of word of mouth. That to me was the biggest form of advertising. And my family, my father owned a printing company for 30 years, and the man never advertised. And he was one of the biggest printing companies in Manhattan. So I just took that and I ran with it, and I was like, I don't need to put anything in a newspaper and showing my age, the yellow pages and so forth.
What are the yellow pages?
Exactly.
You use that to prop yourself up.
Yellow pages.
And we never did that. So everything that we got was recommendation and referrals, and I'm trying to utilize the same thing with real estate. It's a little bit different. Obviously, the competition is much more difficult. So that's why I lean towards my social media platforms, and I try my best, to really be in their faces.
But you're discussing another ongoing topic we've actually talked about today with a number of guests, is the ability to change and adapt with times. So here you went from being a referral business, and you realized the importance when you got into Emerald Realty and you started the brand to go right in the video, because right away I saw you on Instagram, I think even TikTok, if I might be.
I did a couple of TikToks.
I was going to go into the TikTok.
From my daughters.
Right,
yes.
and you've created a brand, and you write and went to video. And so understanding that just besides the relationships and context, you needed to adapt. So, and that's the ongoing thing we're seeing.
Yes, absolutely.
And to realize that early.
So we had a number of guests here who were fortunate to talk to us about what they're doing that's successful. I want to kind of take what Mike said about the TikTok. So you're one of a handful of realtors that I can say on the island that are actually using that platform. So talk about the difficulty with it, the adjustments required, because people listening and watching that aren't using it, because you're one of the few doing it. Talk about how that platform is really a great catalyst for real estate and for success and for marketing and branding.
Listen, I mean, in this business, you have to be in everybody's faces. And in order to do that, you have to be on social media. You have to have a presence. So my thing is obviously I'm not shy in front of the camera, because I've been an MC for 35 years of my life. I've been in front of people, thousands of people every weekend at weddings. So I have no problem talking on a microphone and no problem being on camera. I've been a photographer for 30 years as well. So I have no problem, being behind the camera, as well. So everything that I do on the social media platform, I try to do different. I have my signature glass removal.
And you already did it. I was going to ask you to do it, but Mike made you do it.
So I have that to my advantage. And I can't tell you, I did it the first time, and people just commented, what's with the glasses? What's with the Superman glasses things? And I said, you know what? Every video I do right now, I'm starting it. So that's my thing. So people literally, every time I do it, they're like, love the glasses, love the glasses. So I'm trying to incorporate that and that be my signature move. But, it seems to be working.
You should sell a playbook for guys retiring from the entertainment business and what they should do next.
Exactly. Listen, especially real estate, I tell all my DJs, guys, your network of people is insane. You cannot be a real estate agent and know nobody. You'll never survive,
I think you have to get yourself turned into an animated GIF with just that, and that should be at the signature of your email right there.
I should have done that for Ren. You're embarrassing me now.
What type of friend are you?
We'll get it done.
You got it. You got to make it.
Dan's got the wink. You got the glass removal. What do you have?
Let's get that working.
I got nothing either.
It's a wrap. That's what I got.
We got to work.
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap. I like that.
I just wear a cape sometimes.
Yeah. Well, you need.
So Gary, what else you got going on right now? Do you have anything outside of is it giving back to the community? Is it family? What kind of keeps you motivated to stay in the game?
I mean, I have 3 kids. Those kids are expensive. I have a daughter that's getting married in a couple of years. So this is my motivation is, to do whatever I can do for my kids and my family. And I see myself, probably another 10, 15 years of doing this. It's all about, just like I said, helping the community, being a part of Cyborg, having a great show next year, because again, that's going to have my name all over it. So
we got you.
We'll make it good. You do.
So where can people learn more about you, about the brokerage? Give us some handles, give us some websites.
So we've got Emerald Elite Realty on Instagram. We have Gary Emerald. We have www.emeraldeliterealty.com. And my office is in Annandale. We have a great location right in the heart of Annandale, 885 Annandale Road, Suite 1. And, my number, you can reach me anytime, 917-597-4152, extension 1.
Extension 1.
So Gary Fleming, Emerald Elite Realty, thank you for doing everything that you do with the show today and having us out here, being part of this at Realtor Expo 2023. You're doing awesome work. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you, Michael. And I appreciate you guys coming.
And thank you for getting us those extra tables. They
You
came
got
in
it.
useful.
Anything for you.
Fantastic job, though. This is a great event. Congrats.
Thank you.
Cheers. All right, we're back at Realtor Expo 2023. We've been grinding it out here. We've been chatting with tons of different realtors, realtor brokers, broker agents, award winners. We've had everybody out here today. So with that being said, we wanted to get everybody in, as anybody we could find possible. We asked Joe Haskell to come in here from Keller.
Anybody that they finally hit the bottom of the barrel. That's right.
Well,
Yeah.
let's be completely
There was
honest.
one guy standing in front of the booth.
Scrape the bottom of the barrel.
Let's be completely honest. I do feel bad, Joe. We have to apologize. He got kicked twice off. Dan's like, sit him down. No, sorry,
Oh,
someone more
over there?
important. You.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
No, I'm used to it. Yeah.
I apologize.
Brazzers doesn't do anything like that.
So,
Hey,
Joe Haskell, CEO, Keller Williams.
I'd love to get back in production. So I was a producing realtor. I was at these things for years, going to them as a top producing realtor for over 10 years. One of a handful of realtors who have ever received the prestigious Cyber Hall of Fame award. And then I took my skills and decided to grow and become the CEO of the Keller Williams Staten Island Market Center. For those that don't know, Keller Williams is the largest real estate company in the entire world, and I'm very honored to be chosen to grow the branch on Staten Island.
I just saw a stat. I think was it 1 in 5 homes sold in the U.S. are through a Keller Williams?
1 in 5 homes in the entire country has been sold by a Keller Williams agent.
Let's go back to the beginning, Joe. So you're not even an agent anymore? What the hell are we doing here?
That's true.
But that's why we kept kicking him off.
So it's been a great ride.
So you guys do a lot of different community efforts. I know I've been working with you in the Grace Foundation for a couple of years now. Tell us about Red Day. That's coming up soon, isn't it?
Right. So thank you. Yeah. That's one of the reasons that I came aboard. The second Thursday of every May is called Red Day. Okay. Every Keller Williams in the entire country shuts their doors for the day and does something for the community. A community program. Last year we did it for the Grace Foundation, which again I am humbled and honored to be on the board of directors of the Grace Foundation, and we helped beautify the property last year. It's great to give back to the community. Again, every Keller Williams Market Center in the entire country shuts down to do something.
So you guys did more than just kind of beautify the backyard. They built an entire Serenity Garden.
Wow. Yeah, it was beautiful.
That leads into the DeSantis Family Foundation, the barn and the education center.
Yeah, it's really beautiful. Now, and is that just a Staten Island Keller Williams, or that's all franchise-wide that you do the Red Day?
Yes, the entire country. Right. Every market center, again, in the entire country
gets to pick which.
Yeah, they do something for the community. It's amazing. I mean, it truly is. I was a skeptic, and we did my first Red Day with the Keller Williams of Staten Island at the Grace Foundation, like Mr. Ryan said, and they didn't just have a photo with me with a shovel. Personally, I didn't do much. Everyone else did. Which
At least you're
Well,
honest.
you said you're the CEO. Most CEOs don't do much.
No, I learned that. That's the only part about being a CEO that is really good, is that they don't do much, most CEOs. They direct.
So
but
how
no,
do-
I'm quite hands-on.
How do other nonprofits and organizations reach out to you and to Keller Williams to become a benefactor of these projects and services, or apply for them?
Yes, so you could reach out. Our market center's at 1919 Highland Boulevard. We have another one in Tottenville on Amboy Road, but the main market center is on Highland. Camille Albanese, Director of Marketing. You could find us everywhere. I mean, you could reach out You could go, we're tremendous, and I'm leading the Keller Williams into what it's supposed to be, which is the largest in the world. We're moving up and up on the island, and a lot has to do with the community and what they've done for us, and we owe.
So, and again, a reoccurring topic throughout the day, community, being involved in the community, giving back is a way to grow your self brand, the brand of the organization. And in a small town like Staten Island, we call it a small town, right?
That's
500,000 people, but everyone knows everyone. 2 degrees of separation, as Christine Duhart said, it's being involved in that community and giving back.
So 2 years ago, and of course I'll tell the story, I almost died from colon cancer, and I got my care in Manhattan originally when I was diagnosed. Everything went all right for a while. Whatever happened, and then at some point, Staten Island, I got rushed to Staten Island Hospital. I had passed out, and I got rushed, and they saved my life, Staten Island Hospital. People have this perception of Staten Island, I guess, the care of Manhattan is better or somewhere else, but I owe my life to Staten Island. It's been very good to me, the ups and the downs. It's always been there for me, and a doctor or a surgeon at Staten Island North saved my life, so I owe.
Well, we are glad to have you here.
So again, we're at the Realtor Expo 2023 for Cyborg. Joe Haskell, Keller Williams. Thank you.
Hey, thanks so much, and it's great to be a part of this.
We are back live from Realtor Expo 2023 here at the Hilton Garden Inn. That's the Cyborg big day of the year. Right now we have Gail Ozana from Ozana Realty Group with us. Thank you for stopping in. Look at this guy. That's all good stuff. I'm thrilled that you came and sat with us. Some of the stuff that you're doing online and being able to put yourself out there is really what our podcast is about. It's about building yourself as a brand in a local market and figuring out how you rise above everything that's out there in a really overcrowded market.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, starting from a local brand, I don't have a big brand behind me, so being a very, very localized brand without, like the big, company, I won't say any names, but companies behind you, was even more of a challenge for me, going into it.
So one of the things that you're doing that's great is that you're in your social that you're putting out there, you're actually offering quality content. And the reason we're doing this is content is king, right? And so what was that aha moment where you just didn't want to put up a sticker that said sold, another house sold, another house sold? How did you come up with the concept behind what you're doing?
Well, when I got into real estate, nobody was doing social media at all. They weren't doing anything digital. They were just kind of the same old stuff, So I started to doing social media in general. I started putting up sold posts and just the generic stuff. And people are like, what are you doing? You're wasting your time. Nobody on social media is buying a house. All right, I'll just keep doing it because I enjoy it. People started reaching out to me. And then I started to realize that, I should be somewhere, I should do my own thing and be somewhere where I'm going to start to grow myself. So I thought I was going to be by myself. I called it Ozana Realty. Not because I have a big ego. I'm like, all right, whatever, I'll be by myself. I'll enjoy it. I'll have fun with social media. And then people started to see what I was doing. I started putting value out there for people to consume. And that started bringing more people on board. So when I first started, I told you originally, the joke was that people would say to me, the company's called Ozana Realty Group. Who's the group? I was by myself. Now it's not the case.
Big thoughts.
We've said
plans.
Fake it till you make it.
Exactly.
But
you've had massive growth.
Yeah.
It's been explosive for the last 4.5 years.
And the one thing that he does a great job of is he does a really good job of not just branding the organization, but you help your agents, it seems like, brand themselves. Because you understand the importance that they're building those relationships. You want them out on social media. By them being out and building that following there, it's going to feed into your pipeline.
Correct, yeah. So I realized early on that I have a certain amount of followers, but if, Katya, for example, one of the agents, puts out there and we share the content, now we're targeting maybe twice as many people. So now when you times that over 50 people, you're reaching, over hundreds of thousands of people across the spectrum. So when you do branding, repetition is key. So if you see the same content across 5, 6 different people you follow, people are going to recognize the name and start to want to work with people.
So talk about, as a broker owner, what it's like to go through such extreme growth, right? So you went from one person to how many you have now? How many people?
Over 50.
Over 50. In how many years?
4.5.
4.5. So that's wearing a different hat, right? Now it's a very different hat you're wearing. So talk about that transition.
It was definitely a transition, trying to like learn something that you're not going to find in a book on how to manage a real estate office in Staten Island. It becomes a different kind of training, and it's like on-the-job training that I had to learn, deal with people's emotions or something I didn't expect to deal with in general. The business side of it's always been fine. I can deal with that, but the emotional aspect from it was something, a challenge. So learning how to grow, learning how to build structure. I did take my time, which I'm very happy with. I did slow the growth on purpose to build structure first. Now we have a really, really good system in place where the agents are able to have more explosive growth and do well with technology. So taking my time was really the key there, and making sure I had a foundation for them and understanding every point that I was going to. Like, how many agents can I manage individually before I bring a manager on? How many agents can one person manage in general? How many deals can you take on? So understanding every point of that was a challenge along the way, and I figured a lot of it out myself, but you know what? I'm not afraid to ask somebody for help.
So before you were managing all these people,
Yeah.
and were you ever a manager anywhere else? Was that your first time experience managing people?
No, I had a tire shop that I opened up when I was 20. So I hired my friends, and then my friends would mess up, and then I would be mad at them, and it doesn't work. So I realized that there is a line between friendship and management, and that was something I did kind of learn a little bit, but I was very young. So coming into this sphere, it was never a plan for me to have this growth. I didn't plan. I planned to really be by myself and do that. The only difference is when an agent came to me and said, hey, I see what you're doing on social media. I'd like to join you. What are your company fees? I don't have any. What can you help me? Yeah, I'll help you out. Genuinely trying to help people is what brought me here. So when I'm genuinely trying to help them, say, hey, increase your social media presence. It's not the gal show. Everybody's an individual entrepreneur, so I'm genuinely trying to help them. That's the sole reason I have the growth.
That's the basis of everything. Educate, don't sell, right? If you educate someone and you don't sell them, they'll come back to you time and time again and organically want to do business with you because you provide value. And a lot of people don't get that, but that's the key to everything. Whether it's real estate, right? Marketing, whatever it is, give value, people will come back.
Just genuinely be genuine and don't be greedy with it, and then you'll do really well, you know?
So what's one of the consistent themes of some of the content that you've been releasing lately?
Lately showing about the company's values. I realized that a lot of people don't maybe know the intricate details that make, like, to me it's normal because we have the e-signing, we have AI, we have built-in systems, but we have a system that you don't, as an agent, you don't write your offers. Our assistants do it for you. So as an agent, you're not doing paperwork anymore, you could sell more. Because I built the company for what I wanted. So now showing that value and taking it out to people is what I'm focusing on now, bringing it out.
That's great.
And talk about the integration.
Well, go ahead. No.
I was going to say the integration. You said before, you have in-house attorneys, in-house closing agents. What else? In-house title insurance companies.
Yeah. So pretty much, like I said, the company is built for what I needed. I hated paperwork. I hated dealing with trying to find my attorney. Hated trying to find a title company. So slowly, I started to put the pieces in place of like, okay, I don't want to run to do paperwork and get you to sign it. We're going to put e-signing in place. I don't want to write. I sell. I don't want to go ahead and write all my offers. If I'm on the road, I can't stop for an hour to sit there and write it all. These things are time sensitive. You got to put an offer in 20 minutes. You got to get it done. So I was like, let me put somebody in place to do that. And then how do I reach my attorney? Okay, the attorney, we'll put him in here. Give him a good spot to sit in. And it just started to. I built it for what I needed as an agent, and it turns out everybody else needed that too.
Do you think technology itself is really what helped you streamline?
Yeah, I definitely think technology. I'm a big tech person. I love tech.
I hate tech.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Never heard of it.
What's tech?
Yeah, we'll figure it out later. But it's I love technology. I'm all about it. I sit there and I read all day, and I'm the one thing is I don't have an ego when it comes to it. I know what I don't know, so I'm not afraid to ask somebody. So I'll try to chat GPT. Michael changed my password on my computer. I'm like, how'd you do that?
He controls everything. That's how he does it.
Yeah.
Well, if you're going to sit next to me at the a board meeting and walk away from your laptop and not lock it,
What was that, 3 times you did that to me?
I put Tech Geek backgrounds on it.
I left it for 3 weeks.
Expected to be
Good. That's the whole goal.
Just because he felt bad, he just figured it was easier to do that than anything else.
That's marketing right there.
That's marketing, brand. Everywhere you go, you're like, who's Tech? Oh,
But yet you said when people saw it, they were like, "Who the hell is that?" You're like, "Don't worry about it."
Yeah, I didn't tell him. I'm not going to promote.
But yeah, technology and the ChatGPT is
It's phenomenal.
Hey.
But a lot of people don't like to adapt from what I'm, especially in the industry. So, I don't see myself competing with anybody in this field at all. I'm in my own lane. I don't care what they're doing, how they're doing it. I'm going to do what's best for the company and our growth and what I feel is going to be necessary. So the same way when I started, somebody said, social media is a waste of your time. What are you doing? This is 9 years ago. You're wasting your time. I said, cool, I'll waste my time, but I'm having fun.
Right.
So the same thing now. Technology, ChatGPT is a waste of your time. We'll find out in a couple years how big that is.
It's great to be in the top, the 1%. Be in the 1%. You want to be the leader and let the others follow you, and that's the key.
Exactly, yeah. I just do my own thing, focus on the team and what we need for our growth, and everything else will fall into place. How I can best help the agents grow is the most important thing.
So where do you see your firm going in the next 2-3 years?
I didn't even see this happening.
4 years of growth, right? You said 4 years.
Do you even
50
have a
people?
business plan?
Yes, I have a business plan, but yeah, we have to get readjusted.
It's on the back of a napkin, as it should be.
It should, exactly.
That's exactly
where
it should be.
mine was.
But I didn't even know what a business plan was when I started. I'm like, I gotta do these things.
Do you know when I wrote my first business plan? The SIEDC was offering a free membership. Yep. This was a number of years ago. It was like called Grow SI, I think it was. And you had but part of the requirements when you were putting in the application was, I need to have a business plan and this thing. I went on like Google, business plan for an IT company.
He would have ChatGPT'd it, but it wasn't around.
It was not around.
They're trying to stop that now. Did you guys see that?
Well, they want to pump the brakes a little bit because of how much ChatGPT 4 is already evolving. They want to put a 6-month pause on development to not go further, so they could study and see before Terminator comes.
Right, the robots.
That's all I can. I keep thinking about that every time. Like, it's gonna exterminate the humans or whatever they're gonna do. Something crazy is gonna happen.
You're gonna be like, hey, write me a blog post on why you should buy from Ozang, and it's gonna be like, no, I'm coming for you.
So I got an interesting question for you. We haven't touched on it, but it seems like you're hip, you know technology and stuff. I don't think anybody else here will even know what this question is, but how do you feel about transactions on the blockchain when it comes to real estate?
I think it's going to be not even just for the real estate, I think just the title side of it. Because title is a story, just in simple terms, a story of your property. This person bought it, and that person owns it. Did they pay off their loan? That's essentially what blockchain is. It's a chain, right?
But you understand what that is.
Yes.
You say that to 20 people, they're going to be like, what?
But
they're all going to think it's just cryptocurrency.
The title business is completely should be on the blockchain. You could do title like this. We're waiting for people to do research in the backside and everything like that. You could do title insurance in 2 minutes with that, and have confirmation every single time.
And there's companies doing commercial real estate with NFTs. What's your hot take on that?
I was always skeptical on NFTs. I think it has a long way to go. I've been seeing Bitcoin make a big comeback. When Bitcoin first came out, I was like, this is fake. I don't understand how it's going to work. But I was wrong. I'll admit that. Had I bought it at $600-700,
but you were wrong. But remember, there was a big fall. So a lot of people didn't get out. A lot of people kept saying, I'm holding it till it gets 100,000. I was the same way. Bitcoin was $400. I made a mining machine for a friend of mine. I'm like, why are you wasting your time? There's like nothing. He's like, bye. I ain't getting involved. But
I'm still holding.
People kept holding, and you're still holding. So
I walked into a property the other day, and it's like this old lady's house, right? And she, I don't know, maybe died or whatever, right? And so I'm walking through the property, and corner of my eye, I see a DVD. It says, what is Bitcoin?
There you go.
I swear to you. And it was like 2007. I go, wow. I was like,
oh, really?
Did you find out because it was a son. I was like, did you find out if your mom has Bitcoin? You might want to check that out.
Where's her ledger? Where's that nano ledger? Go get that right away.
Crazy.
It's funny, a DVD.
Hope we have her password.
Yeah. But what about the guy in Britain who lost his own?
Well, no, he lost his password, right? He kept trying. And doesn't he have one try left?
No, wasn't it like in the garbage or something?
And they got into it. He paid hackers to get into it. I don't know if it's this exact circumstance, but there was one circumstance they lost it.
Yeah,
They got back into the nano ledger, and there was like $100 million of Bitcoin on it, and they were able to get it back.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because the one I heard was there was a guy who he lost his password, he threw it out, and he had one attempt left. And if he uses it, it locked the account.
That's terrifying.
But it's glad to hear that you think that blockchain is going to be the future, because I think blockchain is going to be leases of cars. I think it's going to be everything, because it doesn't.
Your transactions are going to go off of that. So a real estate essentially is a transaction, right? But a lot of stuff is done on the title side. But we are in sales. Sales is one whole different aspect, but the actual transaction from passing it from person to person should 100% be on the blockchain.
Yeah.
There's no reason it shouldn't be.
And why I like the NFT aspect, and I was curious of your opinion, not the artwork, but the ability for you to own the NFT for your home and then sell the home and the NFT. And as the home sells for perpetuity, you as the original owner of the NFT can earn a residual royalty. And I think people will become accustomed to something like that. If you got a 4% VIG every time your house was sold till you died and you sold that house 100 years ago, it kind of changes the game.
Now, what happens if it goes down? Are you also responsible for the down?
Not the NFT in respect to the art. NFT tied to the blockchain.
Right.
So
I get what you're saying, because I know on NFT
it won't go down because the value is the home.
What if the home did go down? Are you now responsible for 4% of that down?
But it would be linked to fiat as well. Same thing with
I would
the US
assume
dollar.
it'd be on profits, right? Just a royalty, essentially.
Right, royalty on profits, yeah.
So I don't think you would go ahead and get an on downturn. No.
Can you imagine?
If the house is worth 600 today and
They
500
sold
tomorrow,
a
it would
house
be worth
on
the
like
same.
on whatever one of these platforms. They sold a house. Some architect built it. It was gorgeous. Like, you're gonna live there. I believe that people were actually going to do stuff like that. They said we're at 8 years for immortality or something like that.
Well, they're selling houses on based on NFTs. They do it in California. They've done it before. They've done.
They're
so
going to continue to do it, but I mean, I'm waiting for that. The Neuralink from Elon Musk.
There you go.
They're going to put it in your brain. You're going to upload my brain.
That's it.
And I'm going to have somebody like Mike delete it.
We don't want that getting out, though.
We should have the robot
Mine
that's
too.
floating around here come over for
Just
an interview.
knock the table over.
Knock everything down.
That'd be hilarious.
So anyhow, listen, Gail Ozana Realty Group. Thanks for changing the game a little bit. And thanks for coming on the series with us here.
How we get in touch? How do people find
You
you?
reach me at Mr.Ozana or Ozana Realty on Instagram. Just reach out. I always answer my DMs, and we'll go from there.
And website.
Website, ozanarealty.com.
Awesome.
Nice.
Thank you.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you so much.
That's
Leopard
why
shoe.
my wife's trying to get me to get a dog right now. And
I don't
we've
know.
been
I
pet
would-
free for like 6 months.
You don't. Oh, you had pet? All right, so I won't say anything bad.
I've always had pets.
Fish.
I've had dogs. I've
Fish are
had
great.
multiple dogs. Carrie had cats before we met. They were twins. They were like 18 years old. They both passed away this year.
I'm sorry.
So, but now it's like 6 months. Like this weekend, we're going to be able to go to our place in the
that
Poconos
nice?
and not have to worry about the pets.
Don't lie.
already-
She's
you
sending you
already
pictures
have
of a
kids.
puppy.
So I used to have an Airbnb in the Poconos.
So we were looking to Airbnb, get an Airbnb and start that out there. But in Hawley, the town that we're in, they banned Airbnbs.
Yeah, so I
Bastards.
sold my house a year and a half ago because they were changing the laws. So it had a good 5-year run.
But we got into a great
Decided to
spot
get
now.
out.
It's like it's part of a resort. So they rent out the house for us.
Oh, that's great.
They take care of everything.
That's right. You sent me that. I can ask my wife if you want to go. All right, so we are back live from the Cyborg Realtor Expo here at the beautiful Hilton Garden Inn. We have with us today Danielle Denegris, who's going to be leading off the next segment, talking about all things branding and marketing. We actually just had the privilege of speaking with the broker owner of Ozana. Very interesting to hear his hot takes on marketing and on the industry itself. So let's open the dialogue with a little bit about why you transitioned from your previous brokerage to go work with Ozana. What are they doing that attracted you as an agent?
Yeah, so when I changed companies, I guess it's almost been a year now, I was just looking for a diverse broker who did New York and New Jersey because I had recently gotten my New Jersey real estate license and I wanted to stick with one company and work in 2 states, so they had that. Also, a lot of them are my friends and, just kind of a younger group, very tech-driven, so they implement different technologies that kind of set them apart. And I really like their branding.
And Gal, correct? Am I saying correct? And Gal said that the company's experienced such extreme growth, upwards of 50 agents in 3 years, and now you're a part of that. So talk about how the brand remains cohesive while experiencing such exponential growth? Because that's kind of hard to do.
Yeah, so it's been really exciting. Ozana Realty really operates kind of like a startup. So we all have an input in, the path of where the company's going. It's really exciting to be in a conversation of the direction of things. And I'm really enjoying the camaraderie of it all.
Now, do you find yourself leaning into social media more than other brokers and what Ozana is doing? And Gail he's great on social, and we were talking about that with him a little bit. Do you take his lead on that? Is that part of why you've been successful?
Yeah, so I had been doing video. That was a lot of my personal branding and marketing, just a lot of FaceTimes on Facebook Lives, I should say. If I was at an open house or promoting a listing, I would just get on the camera and be like, oh, hey, it's Danielle Donagris. This is my listing, come on by. So I was very comfortable with that already. And joining a company like Ozana, they were also doing those things. So our digital alignment, I guess
it was a good match.
It was a good match.
Yeah, because I see you all over, on Facebook, and every weekend, seeing you drive into the open house.
Everyone's always concerned for me. They're like, Danielle, please stop videoing and driving.
I hope you have one of those things holding you.
I have a holder.
Yeah, but you drive into the open house, tell them where the open house is, and then throughout the day, you're always posting. You're keeping people updated. Hey, it's a great open house. Here's what we have. If you want to get me to the open house, put a nice spread of food. That's usually what gets me to open house.
Taquitos.
I'm not actually looking to purchase. I'm just looking to go eat.
Taquitos.
But no, you do it. Yeah, cookies.
It's
but no,
interesting,
you do a great job, and I see seeing that on social media. And Gal was saying 9 years ago, people were telling me you're wasting your time being on social media. You're not wasting your time. The home buyer, the home person selling their home, they're on social media.
Absolutely. And a lot of my business does come from those social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram. So I definitely do see the returns of that. People are always reaching out. Relationships are being built. Sometimes I go to different networking groups, actually, and they're like, oh, you're Danielle. And I'm like, oh, who are you? But sometimes you don't realize putting the face with the name with their social profile, and it goes much further than you could even ever expect.
Well, it's interesting. Oh, go ahead. No, please. I was going to say, it's interesting that you mentioned Facebook Live. You're the first guest we've had today that mentioned Facebook Live, and Dan will back me up on this, but organic reach now is so low on all the platforms that actually Facebook Live and Facebook Reels are two of the most engaging and organic ways in which to actually increase your reach. Mm-hmm. So did you know that, or you just took advantage and got lucky? Because you're right where you should be.
Yeah, probably a mixture of both things. Definitely realized that was important and jumped on the bandwagon, and it's been a positive experience.
I think the content matters, though, too. Like what you're doing is unique, too, because the agents in the past, they put up a billboard. Billboards that are up there, you see a broker's or an agent's face. That's it. What you're doing is you're breaking the wall. You're breaking the fourth wall, and you're putting yourself out there to be able to actually give people content, know you, and understand that you're not just in it for the sales. You're passionate about what you're doing. You're interesting. You're business minded. You're smart. You're doing things that are innovative. So, for me, that's where I think that the content really comes into play, and it's great.
Yeah, definitely. People choose real estate agents to work with on a number of factors. Obviously, you have to have market knowledge, but you also have to have a personality that people can know, like, and trust. And I think that video definitely comes out and portrays that factor, that someone who's researching a particular agent can find them on socials and be like, oh, this girl looks genuine. I might want to work with her. And that's usually what people say.
Yeah. And so Facebook Live, Facebook Reels. Are you doing TikTok as well?
I'm not doing TikTok. A lot of people are. I think it's great. I just haven't jumped on that wagon.
Will you jump on that bandwagon?
I don't know.
You will. Just take the same content from Facebook Live and just throw it on and test it. See what happens.
Yeah.
You should.
Thank you.
No harm, no foul. You can't. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain.
All right, we've been giving some guest challenges.
Oh man.
So it's nearly April 1st. I want by May 1st. I want to see a TikTok creating at least one or two TikToks up.
Okay.
And just
only
see,
if you can be in it with me.
That's fine. I'll be in with you. But the thing with TikTok is the reach and how quick it could go up. And again, it might not be the full audience, the demographic you're looking for exactly. However, you never know if that person you reach is someone moving to New York or doing anything, and it's just another way to build that brand. And it's really not hard. I've been doing it, recently. It's not hard, and you should try it.
You're right. It looks like a lot of fun.
So by May 1st.
May 1st.
How many?
2, I said.
That's not bad.
We'll follow.
I thought you said 1.
Two's manageable. Two's
Don't you
manageable.
look at me in that tone of voice, Gary Fleming.
Hi, Gary.
It's fun being live because I don't know when they're watching this and listening to it, when this actually is released, how much fun it is to just have all these people walk by, poking us, kicking us.
Well, that's why we have the 4th camera, too, that he can switch to
we do
show
have.
people.
I didn't know that. I was going to say, people have been kicking me, throwing things at me. It's great.
He's been switching.
Shaking hands. It's fun. It's a lot of fun here at the Expo.
Yeah.
What's your hot take on the Expo?
I like it. I think it's really great. We have a nice mix of different solution providers and partners. Obviously, a lot of realtors walking around. And this is a great positive start to the spring market. Everyone's in high spirits. We're here, and we're going to be, closing each other's listings and working back and forth with each other. So it creates a really nice compatibility with everyone.
And are you going to be going to the ChatGPT seminar?
I will at 3:30 with
3:30.
J-Man. Looking forward to that.
Yeah,
That's coming up quick. We've been out here. We've been chopping it up for a couple hours now.
Yeah.
But
It's getting long.
Guys must need some
Hard.
water.
It's hard work. People say this is easy. This is hard work.
Yeah, you're talking all day.
Talking all day. I mean, I'm used to doing that
Did
anyway.
you guys head over to the Lamalt booth and try the mocktail?
I didn't have the mocktail. I had the food they had.
Oh, okay. The mocktail was pretty good.
That's right. We'll be seeing you at Lamalt because we're joined as well. So when they open,
congrats.
we'll be
Dan
there.
did not
I
join.
remember. I'm excited.
I did not.
Dan will just come as one of our guests.
Yeah.
He's smarter than everybody because he
There's
knows
three
he's
of
going
us
to be
here.
invited. So he's like, I'll just
Come
come
3
and
times.
you just come every day, whatever it is. One of us will be going.
So we've talked a couple times about how working in Staten Island, working out here, building your brand, really, it becomes a lifestyle, and it's not just work. But work is daunting, I mean, it's a lot, especially since like post-pandemic, everybody's been trying to get to everything, get out there, network as much as they can, be present at every event. What do you do as a realtor to like blow steam and just kind of like free your brain for a little bit, take a breather?
Yeah, that's a great point because a lot of our work is mixed with our personal life. People like to see that we are real people doing real things. So yeah, sometimes I do post about my dog or my family, or I go to parks. So those are things that I do to relax. But I guess aside from the camera, I like to spend time with my family, sometimes on Sunday, go to my aunt's house, have a nice Sunday dinner.
You just posted it. I saw something recently. They were cooking and you were there. And again, it's being real. People want to work and buy and from people they trust, they like, and they kind of connect with.
Right.
So, educate, show them that you're having a good time. Don't always be selling.
Mm-hmm. Now, I also like to color on my downtime.
Do you?
That's
Like to
something
color.
different that
That's
people probably don't know about me. Yeah, the adult coloring books.
Okay.
Get
What does
some
that mean,
stencils
adult
out.
coloring books?
They're
Clarify
just
that.
like more detailed
Okay, just make
pictures.
Not
you
like
know.
different content.
No.
They're not necessarily about
Making sure.
like Barbie dolls, like when I was 6 years old, or
And they usually use colored pencils, right? Not
colored
crayons.
pencils. Let me think.
Not
The
like
one
50
I
Shades of
have
Grey
has like
spreads. Not
birds
that.
and flowers. Very pretty, scenic. Let your mind wander, and you're doing something physical. So
Carrie
it's
does
definitely a good way to unwind.
She does. Carrie, my wife, she sits there with these
does
coloring
that
books.
too?
She's got like a David Bowie one that
great.
she just goes in and colors all day. She's got the sticker books as well.
Oh, okay.
So I don't
Let's
know
try
how she
that.
doesn't go insane doing that, but the sticker books.
It's nice.
You should
trying to get away
you
from
should
you.
try the Lego. Have you seen the flat Legos that
Flat
they do?
Legos?
Yeah, so you make an actual picture
Oh.
out of different Legos. You can
That's
do like
cool.
Marilyn
That's the first time
Monroe,
hearing
Minnie
that.
Mouse, whatever, but you make a picture by using the individual pieces.
That's pretty cool.
So Danielle, where are we finding you? What are the handles we're looking for? Where are we guiding the viewers and the audience to go check you out?
Sure. So you can find me on Instagram, List with Danielle D, or also Denigris Danielle is my personal page, but it's also public now. Yeah, I use different hashtags: Sell with Danielle, List with Danielle D. So you can definitely find me that way.
Awesome. Perfect.
All right,
Well,
Danielle
thank you.
Denigris.
Thank you so much.
Wazada Realty, thank you
My
for coming
pleasure.
on. Appreciate it. All right, we're getting close to the end of the marathon day that we've had out here. We've been recording our podcast live at Cyborg's Realtor Expo 2023. Check out the hashtag Realtor Expo 2023.
That is correct.
So right now we're with one of the vendor booths here, one of the newer businesses and new properties on the island, TJ Pingator from Lamont Imperial. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having us. Appreciate it.
So you got something really exciting, a very unique brand. It's not the first of its kind, but it's expanding here into Staten Island, so we're excited to have you. Tell us a little bit about what the experience is, because this podcast is about branding, right? And your experience and what you're offering, I believe, is the core of the brand. So
It truly, when you think about the last 14 months and kind of a quick backstory, so we have Red Bank Royale and we have Colonia. And Colonia was #1 location, Red Bank Royale, my hometown. I'm actually a Red Bank boy at heart. Getting to know Staten Island a lot the past 6 months. We saw a model that was a proof of concept in Red Bank that was pretty much, sold out right away. But we had to figure out, a uniqueness here to the island and what the island really needed. So we started talking to a lot of business professionals, politicians, business owners on the island over the last year. And we took a lot of that feedback, and what we thought was the concept shifted about 35-40%. And where we got to now with a end of June opening is a fully private member club that's going to bring a true meeting spot, an entertainment spot, a place that people, business professional community can come, lunch, dinner, and they can enjoy the privacy, they can enjoy the exclusivity, but they can also use it as a business.
So I find it interesting because Staten Island is known for its cuisine. Let's not quibble about that, right? Staten Islanders are very finicky about what they're going to eat, where they're going to eat it, and you guys have a great product. What I find most interesting is that, and I want you to talk about this because when we first met, you even mentioned it, rather than do traditional media spends, digital spend, anything you would associate as a marketer with how to launch this type of brand, you took it to the street by being at every event, I think, that has been held in the borough for the last 18 months.
Boots on the ground.
12 months. I think you've been at more than all of us combined, and we're pretty good at being at stuff. So talk about that unique marketing approach as it relates to the brand.
Here's why I didn't expect it, but I love it, and I realized that, and I'll tell you the very raw truth. I had my own judgments of Staten Island as a kid growing up, everything. I'd never been here, right?
You hate it. It's fine. You can say it. You didn't like it.
I only was here twice in college, and, I was here twice in college, and that was it, really. And when you think about, you fly to Newark Airport, you have a judgment of Jersey. When you drive down 2 or 3 streets of Staten Island, you're probably making a judgment. I grew up in Red Bank. I looked at our model. I looked at our entire advertising strategy budget for Lamont and for our sister brand, and I said, hang on, guys, let's hold that for a minute. Let's actually go out and let's meet Staten Island. Let's actually go out and talk to everybody, meet everybody. So my day-to-day changed 50%. I just said, I'm going to go door to door. I'm going to literally go out and meet, not just events where they're pre-planned. I'm walking in businesses and saying hello. Like, this is not what and I'll tell you this, great. I know, and I know you ate at Royale and the food you loved and the experience you loved, but I too had to get my own experience within this island and really get a gauge on what it's about and what the people are about, what the pulse is about. And when I did it, it was incredible. It was the exact opposite that I may have thought. I thought people might have told me that, you know what? Everybody, when I tell you, with the exception of one person, I'm not going to say who it is on this podcast.
We all know who it is.
You don't know. I don't know if you know.
We know.
They're hidden in some nook at South Avenue, but
we know.
Every single person has been welcoming. Not one really person has been like, get out. Everyone has welcomed this, and we're super grateful for that. And we're going to do everything we can within the Staten Island community outside of our business to really connect into the community and do what we can do.
And the one thing that we repeatedly hear today is community and giving back. And we had Kathy Del Piore from the Grace Foundation on earlier, and we learned about the Puzzle for Autism. So Lamont's going to be there helping them, right? Break the record.
We will absolutely do it.
Because we want to break the record on Staten Island, bring light. But it's true. It's all about community here on Staten Island, and that's how we grow.
We met at the South Shore Bid meeting over at Sophia's Taqueria about a month ago. And you had shared some of your personal stories about your give backs. You want to share a little bit?
So for me personally, and for our brand, for me, I have a big brother, big sister. In my career, Restore the Shore, we got crushed with Sandy. So our biggest thing was, immediately within a day or two, what do we do as you have these networks on social media, but nobody really does anything with them except pictures and selfies. And so how do you connect that whole? I noticed that really, that model helped me a lot. And using my network to give back and to help, and especially when you have to pull the trigger pardon the pun, but quickly, like literally within 12 hours, how do you activate your network? For me in my career, that's really in LinkedIn, I have a pretty large network, but it's active, and in Facebook, same thing. But I use it not for my own, glorification. I use it more for connecting and for, doing things that we can all benefit from.
That's great.
The way you should.
Try. Not always perfect, but
the way you should. That's your comment. The way you should.
The way you should, but unfortunately, you get that.
So my Instagram, my food is all food. Everyone says this is all food porn. There's no selfies, no quotes. It's just all the food I've cooked over 20 years. My funny quick story is I paid my way through college myself selling Cutco, who's actually here today.
Beautiful.
Knives. I had college students working with me. So working with the young people, integrating the community, giving back, like, I love it. I enjoy it. I love being out here with all you guys and doing all this stuff.
You just like us.
I do.
Now,
You guys are a likable
folks.
bunch. Staten Island, one thing I noticed, they have an opinion.
Oh, a very big opinion about everything.
I'm not very big.
We know it's going to be critical, which is why we have to deliver a great product.
That's true. That's true. So June you're pretty confident in that date.
Absolutely not. The confidence level I have is about a 6. We're going to open as soon as we possibly can.
At some point.
Dan, I'm giving you the political answer. The political
there.
answer is we're going to open end of June, hopefully. That's the advert.
The last he told me was May.
But it will be there.
That's why I said it's evolved.
It's evolved.
Yeah.
We just got to get you. We got to get you guys in.
All of our money, they're just going to go away. I have to be a part of it. It's a
But
fantastic thing.
the interesting thing, guys, too, is what we learned from Red Bank, a mistake, was we sold out, and it was a bad problem. It was a good bad problem to have. Here, what we want to be able to do is allow for the business professional community to join, sign up, become a member, but then have enough time to bring in the people they actually want in the club as a guest, and then hopefully, our models, they join as a member. But that member has the people around them that are going to foster their business and help other businesses, grow too.
Now, TJ, tell us about your space. Where is it? How do people find you?
Yeah, thank you. You're good at softballs. This is a great softball. Thanks, Dan. The space is Richmond Ave and Amboy Road. It's right behind the Wendy's and the Bank of America. It's a new build, considered 75 Putnam Street. It's actually right under a really cool business as well, too. Sola Salon and Rare Breed, which is Mike and Teresa run a business next to us that they focus on training like professional athletes, bodybuilders, shows. So they've got a really cool niche business. I love the way that they go about it. I think the center that we're creating there, the vibe we're creating, is going to have a lot of traffic in that area.
So we're going to eat, drink, and smoke cigars at Lamalt.
You can
and
eat,
then
drink,
walk
smoke,
right over to
work
Rare
out,
Breed
and become a bodybuilder.
Make believe we didn't do what we just
and
did.
if you fall down the steps or you fall, Northwell right upstairs on the right, they can take care of you.
It's
too.
perfect.
So
It's a destination.
It's all done, right?
It's a destination.
It's an all-in-one show.
You could literally spend the night and work out all right.
Exactly.
And then when everything closes, you can go to Wendy's for that late night snack.
You got it right there.
And what are the websites and socials that we're going to look at?
So yeah, you can go to Lamalt Imperial, IMPERIALE.com. You can just email me, TJ@Lamalt, LEMALT, and I'll get you a tour. The idea is to come in, see what we're doing. And what we've been pitching a lot on our membership has been use case and ROI, right? Like, how would you use it? Are you going to use it? And for some, it's not a fit. For many that have these networks of people, they're using it and going to be using it like a product.
So did I say it wrong at the beginning? I said Imperial. You're going with Imperial?
It's Imperial, yeah.
You're like,
Red Bank,
put your like John Travolta.
Yeah.
Like John Travolta in Pulp
Bank
Fiction.
Imperial.
We have Lamalt Royale, Imperial,
Royale with cheese.
and we have our Colonial.
It's like shop.
And then what's next? What do you have on the horizon? Or you just got to get open and then start focusing on more growth? Or
Yeah, no, we're actually, the goal is 8 locations. Our must-do is 8, and our could-do is 10 in the next 3.5 years. So what we've tried to do is do a concept that supports Manhattan. So we've got Red Bank, we've got Staten Island. We'll do 1 or 2 more what you call bridges to Manhattan, like say maybe a Northern Jersey location. We're looking at potentially the Long Island area, but eventually a location in Manhattan, Miami, Chicago.
Okay. So can you, if you're a member at one, can you go to a Lamont, wherever you're at, whatever city you go and visit?
Yeah,
If you
so
pay for it.
we got the feedback from our Staten Island members that drive to Red Bank. So they gave us a lot over the last year. That was one actually I didn't mention, Key Group. And they said, we're going to want to be near, where we work or our house. Like, we're coming down here, but can we go to both? So as a couple members left Red Bank, 260, I think 18 left last year, was a pretty good keep rate. We held those lockers. So you'll be able to do a global between both.
That's great.
There's an option for that, yeah.
Looking forward to it. We're signing up. We found our fourth. We're excited to be a part of the Imperial family.
Let's get the
Now
Rapachula,
let's get it
Techie
opened.
Geek, SI Advance even maybe. We'll see. We'll talk.
He's going to mooch. He's going to mooch off us.
That's all right. That's good. You got it for the first year. But yeah, no, we're really excited and we appreciate all the support we've gotten, not just from you guys, but from the SI community.
And if you reach out to TJ, please use referral code M2 Podcast.
There you go.
Actually, a great idea.
So, TJ,
I love it.
Imperial, really appreciate you coming down. Your booth looks great over there. You're doing something fun and unique. You have a great activation. So, thank you for stopping over.
Thank you for having us.
We are back for our next segment. We have with us the Staten Island famous Kevin McKerning of McKerning Law. It does real estate law, estate planning, business law. Sitting right next to us the whole day. He had a table. He got to watch us interview everyone, and we kept bumping him again. We were doing a lot of bumps today, but
yeah, you were. You were.
But Kevin,
I figured that.
It was crowded.
I
It
mean,
kept
it was
busy.
just being the last one on the Academy Award.
that's fine. We're not going to play you off though. But the podcast is a marketing and branding podcast. And that you do that very well. McKerning Law, you've come out, you branded. Last year, I believe it was, you relaunched the website.
Yes.
And you launched that website while I was away at Cyborg for my training because I remember he needed help with something and I was there with training. So just,
So,
but,
Kevin, how many years old is your practice?
Over 20 years. We've been doing it over 20 years. I was, before starting McKerning Law, I worked as an assistant DA, as a Bureau Chief of Investigations in Staten Island, had organized crime. And, when we first started, a lot of my practice was criminal defense work. And you're talking about branding and rebranding. What happened really, the pandemic hit, the courts closed. Criminal law just went dead. They're doing a lot of DWI laws cases. You can't get arrested for driving drunk.
If you ain't driving.
For walking drunk from your living room to your bedroom. Your significant other may lock the door on you and put you on the couch, but that's not a criminal offense.
And even if you already had a case, they weren't trying cases.
They weren't doing anything. And I decided I could do and the firm could do a couple of things. One, we would try to write it out. Number two, could do a lot of reading, catch up reading. Three, pretend it was 5 o'clock somewhere as soon as you woke
and
up
get your
in
own
the morning.
DWI walk into your house.
Or we could redefine what we did. We always did some estate work. We always did some wills and trusts. And we always did some real estate and some business law. What we decided to do, and it was almost like going back to law school, a number of bar associations gave free courses by Zoom. They were able to do that because they didn't have the cost of renting a ballroom in the city. Everything was by Zoom. They didn't have to pay for people to stay overnight, so they gave the free courses. So it was like going to law school. The first course I had on 1031 exchanges, at the end of it, my head was spinning. I emailed the person giving it saying, I don't understand, and we went over it. And all of a sudden, from being a person that didn't like paperwork and criminal defense, you just try cases, I decided I love paperwork, and now everything is there. It took a little bit of adjustment when we got back, because I would be in court 8 or 9 out of every 10 days. Now I'm there twice a month. I worked out fine. My secretaries had a little bit of a period of adjustment with me being there. But you're talking about branding, so we had to rebrand what the firm did. And it took a while to get people to understand we were not just a criminal defense firm. We were a estate firm, a real estate firm. And that's where going to events, Mike mentioned redesigning the website, going on LinkedIn, going on Instagram, hiring people that knew better than I how to do it. You know, rebranding my LinkedIn page was always, you know, I start off on Monday, it would be like number 10 things to do. And then by Thursday, it was number 15. And so I said, I have to make the adjustment and go and hire people that could do it. And then it worked out very well with Mike.
You've done a
and
good job.
everything.
It really has rebranding, and people know. And you've done a good job with that.
Yeah, thank you.
Do you go in front of a judge virtually still?
Yes. Most judges want you, especially in New Jersey, chair of the New Jersey State Bar Municipal Court Committee. That's like the lower court. Almost everything is virtual with that. I'm kind of proud. I'm the first non-resident of Jersey ever to be chair of any New Jersey State Bar Committee.
That's awesome.
And most judges want, on the civil end, on the criminal end, they still want people in person. But on the civil end, and it works out better. You're not in a courtroom with 30 other people, and attorneys like to preen. If they're making an argument and their colleagues are in front, it becomes longer and longer. The judges now give you time like 10:45, and you got to be done by 11. The judge will say, I read your papers, what else do you have to say?
Right.
And you don't go into a back and forth. So it works out better. A lot more things get done. You don't waste time traveling. But again, telling people, and it's part of the branding thing, that you explain to people how the system is going to work now.
Yep, completely different. But one thing we've talked about throughout the day is adapting, change. And by accepting that change, it's made your firm to adapt, change, and grow.
Yeah, and to tell you the truth, it hasn't been always easy.
No.
It's been, as Mike probably knows better than any of them, I started out with a hammer and chisel and a stone tablet. So, this is all different.
Yep.
And everybody has to adapt. But I think the system now works better. And it's easier in a sense to brand. People, they search for you, and all of a sudden they'll look and see, geez, Mike says I should post 6 times a day. No, I do it 3 times a week. But people see that, and they see it a constant thing. And I think branding is really repetition.
It is.
It truly is. It's consistency, and it's something that's been, like Mike said before, it's been a common theme of today. But I think that we are on the verge of getting kicked out of here.
Yeah.
We've been talking for a couple different hours now.
This would be the first place I've been thrown out of. Because of time, not because of behavior, but because of time.
Anyhow, Kevin.
Thank you.
Kevin McKernan, thanks for coming on. McKernan
Where
Law.
can we find you?
What's your website? Where can people find you?
www.K, capital K, capital M, lowercase c, capital K, E as an elephant, R as in rabbit, N as in Nancy, A as in apple, N as in Nancy.com.
Excellent. And Facebook is probably the same thing, I think, McKernan Law.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We changed everything to become McKernan Law. That was the other thing.
Right. Consistency.
We were the law firm of Kevin McKernan, but we changed that in McKernan Law because it was
simpler.
Yep.
Love it. Well, thank you, Kevin, for being
thank you for having me. You guys do a great job. All your podcasts are great. You really, ABC should pick up your contract.
We're hoping.
We're hoping. We're having fun doing it. So, Kevin, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. So, as we're winding down our day here at M Square Podcast live from Cyborg's Realtor Expo 2023, we had one of our friends, one of our past interviews, Genesis Gonzalez from Renew Wellness. She was walking by, with Miss Staten Island, Mira Matthew, right?
Yes.
Mira Matthew, Miss Staten Island. Thank you for stopping by. It's a pretty unique title. You were also Miss Teen Staten Island as well, right?
No, I wasn't Miss Teen Staten Island. I was Miss India New York. So I'm the former Miss India New York now since I own the title of Miss Staten Island.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you only call one title at a time?
Yeah.
Is Miss Staten Island higher? Like, where does it fall? Is that...
Well, I mean, it's part of the Miss America organization, which is huge.
It? I did not know that.
Yeah, but previously I had a state title, but that was part of a different organization. This is, I would say, a pretty big one, representing America. It's a wonderful platform to have. So, yeah.
Is the crown heavy?
It's not heavy. It's just annoying to put on.
It's part of the job, though,
It's
right?
part of the job. It's part of the full-time job.
So how did you get it? This whole podcast is about branding, marketing yourself, and
Right.
how do you stand out in a crowd, right? Like you probably have the hardest crowd to stand out in. So how did you get into beauty pageants, doing what you're doing, and what's been your unique thing that's gotten you to rise to the top?
Well, I mean, growing up, I would always watch it. I would see Miss Universe, Miss World pageants, and I would see people from my background, of the Indian background, winning these pageants like Aishwarya Rai. And I would always want to do it, but this is not something Indian people do, Like, we're supposed to be doctors, engineers, all that kind of stuff. I wanted to be a police officer. So this just came as a surprise. One of my friends, Archana Phillip, she kind of said, go and be an inspiration and representation of our community. So that's where Miss India landed me. And then I came here because I'm like, I want to represent the Staten Island community. I want to represent my borough and then go into a bigger platform. So, yeah.
Now, did you grow up out here?
No, so I was born in India, a place called Kerala. And then I came here when I was 3 years old.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
that's pretty much...
Pretty much your whole
raised
life?
here, yeah.
It's not like, I came here last week.
Yeah.
Now, how long have you been Miss Staten Island?
So it's only been a few months. It's been pretty recent, but time's moving by pretty fast because Miss New York is just in about 8 weeks.
Now, okay, so is that Miss New York, and then from Miss New York, then you go to Miss America?
Yeah. So
How's your chances?
I think we have a pretty good chance. Bringing in a unique talent. We also have a social impact initiative or a community service initiative that's part of the pageant. So yeah.
Tell us about that. What are you doing?
So for my talent, I'm doing Bollywood dancing.
Oh, cool.
And then my community service initiative has to do with mental health. I'm going to be talking about how we have to really focus on cultures, and that's how we spread awareness and really bring forward certain solutions. And eventually, my goal in a few years is to have my own nonprofit organization.
That's amazing.
That's great. And
we know people that can help you with that.
I would love that.
We know people that you could probably help too.
Yeah.
And so, with being part of the Miss Staten Island, do you have branding? Do you have a brand for yourself? Do you have a website for yourself? Are you building your brand now?
I would say my brand starts with social media. I feel like this new generation, we brand ourselves off like Instagram and Facebook, and we're really promoting who we are through that. I don't have a website, but through the Miss America organizations, there's websites to start fundraising because it's a scholarship pageant. And I mean, hopefully by Miss New York, if I become Miss New York, I would have a bigger ability to brand myself in a more unique way, so that's what I'm hoping for.
I think she called us old. She
didn't.
She said this generation, we use the social media. You might have never heard of it. Yeah, we communicate through letters.
I did not say that.
we have pigeons. We put little
Carrier
notes in
pigeons. You never watch Game of Thrones? That's how we send. That's how I send my messages. But no. So are you on TikTok?
So I'm actually not too active on TikTok. I watch it. I stay up until 3 in the morning, watching TikToks. But I'm not really active on it. I would say my main platform is Instagram.
So why Instagram and why not both? Why not TikTok?
I don't know. It's a lot to keep up with, to be honest with you. Instagram, that's where judges see you. That's where a lot of people use most of their time. I mean, TikTok is pretty equivalent too, but it's just a lot to keep on go from one platform to another and posting. It can get really tired.
Oh, it definitely gets tiring. But the thing with TikTok is, it's the quickest to get viral.
It's the quickest to get viral. You could share out from that to other platforms. There's different softwares where you could share out to other platforms that makes it easier for you, which you should definitely consider. But something that could be really great is if you start, you don't necessarily have to focus your TikTok on just Miss Staten Island. Like, you could focus it on that initiative to help people, to educate people about mental health. And especially, it's been, I would say, over the course of the last couple of years, it's been even more relevant about mental health because of the pandemic and everything else. So being able to expose yourself to a community where you could really affect change could be great. Mike's been giving challenges out to people all day. So
I think by May. When's the pageant?
It's going to be the end of May, going into June.
Oh, so we have time.
So we have time, yeah.
May 1st. I would like to see. I'm going to follow you on Instagram.
Okay.
And I want to see like a TikTok. We're starting at least. You have 2 posts out there.
Okay.
By May 1st. She's like, I ain't doing that.
No, I post on TikTok. It's just not like I'm not getting viral. So I mean, you guys got tips?
Well, you got like my videos they don't go viral, but they get likes. I usually fall.
Okay.
I'm usually falling down the steps. You know,
You
doing
don't wanna
something.
do that.
Yeah, I probably would. Don't do that one.
I don't
But-
know if I can do that.
You gotta just find something funny. People they love funny,
Yeah.
and they
Funny,
say the tip
educational.
and educational, but they say the tip on on TikTok is find there's certain songs, right? Those trending
the
songs,
trending,
and doing that, or do a duet with someone who's already has a ton of followers.
Yeah.
Do something fun with like a duet or a react. That's how you get quick. But they say, right, TikTok is it's very quick.
Yeah.
To get up there. Once you get noticed you start to grow followers very quickly. However, just as fast as you grow them, you could lose them.
Yeah.
But so consistency is one thing
Yes.
we've learned today over the day.
I agree. Yeah. Well,
So-
I'm going to consider it now.
you should.
By May 1st.
By May 1st.
May 1st.
57 TikToks. No.
So we have, we try to give back to the community a lot too. We have a big initiative coming up with the Grace Foundation in New York, who's one of the other vendors that was here. We're going to be breaking a world record on Staten Island on April 19th. So we're going to be at the Staten Island University Hospital Community Ballpark, working with the Fairy Hawks and all the other nonprofits that serve the autism community on the island. We're working to collaborate to be able to get and create the world's largest human puzzle piece. So we're shooting for 2,000, 3,000 people, as many as we can get out there. We'd love to have you come down.
I will be there.
We'll get you the info. April 19th, 10 a.m. I think it is when we're going to break the
We're
record.
starting to get people together at 10 a.m., yep.
Yeah, it's going to. Staten Island holds one record currently.
And what is that?
Largest garbage dump.
It's the landfill. It is. So there's people that have broken records that are on Staten Island, but they broke that record off of Staten Island.
from Staten Island, but yeah.
Or things like the world's largest Hummel statue over at Kilmeyer's, right? That was
broken and then
created
brought in
Homedale, New Jersey.
Right.
Now it's here.
So we're trying to bring a good initiative and break a record that Staten Island could be proud of.
Of course.
So I think we're about to get kicked out of here.
We're definitely getting kicked out. But we saw Miss Staten Island walking by. We had to grab her.
We appreciate you popping in.
Thank you.
Spending the time here. Remember, keep building that brand. Get out there. Get on TikTok. Again, any message you want to share with people?
I mean, I just want to say it's wonderful to be part of Staten Island and the community. I feel like we're very underrated and underrepresented. Like we're more than just a dump. There's a lot of talent over here, a lot of diversity, and we really need to get that out there. And hopefully, I can make our borough proud and really represent. So I plan on bringing the crown for New York, and then the first ever for Miss America. So yeah.
I hope you do it. Best of luck. And give your social media tags.
Yes. So my Instagram's Meera Matthew __. So it's MEERA Matthew MATHEW. And then my TikTok, I recently changed the name, so I actually don't remember it right now.
It's because you don't really have one.
But I'm building it. May 1st.
There we go.
There you go.
All right.
So,
Thank
again,
you.
best of luck to you,
Thank
Meera
you.
Matthew.
All right, guys. It's been a great day.
It's been a huge day.
I can't believe how many people showed up.
How many interviews did we do?
Can't tell
I don't
you.
even know.
I said
8,
before, it's
9?
actually tiring doing this. I can't believe I'm saying that out loud, but I'm a little tired.
You think your wife's going to go for that?
No, absolutely not. I have to go to a birthday party immediately hereafter. So
Do you?
Yeah.
That's great.
I got to take Finn to karate today.
He's been lying. He said he has to go do something, but he's actually going to
That's
a birthday
before
party.
that. No, we have to set up something for my client, St. Joseph by the Sea. Borough President Vito Pacella's going there tomorrow to celebrate a victory, so I got to go set them up, then go to a birthday party.
Great.
Wait, he's going to sea?
Yep, he'll be there tomorrow. Imagine Farrell Boy in the Seas world. That's why they need me, intermediary. I got to go and set it up, knock it down, make sure it works.
That's
Understood.
great.
Well, there had to be well over 1,000 people here today coming out.
Absolutely.
Cyborg Realtor Expo 2023. Awesome day. Check out the hashtag. Check out everything that we're doing with M Squared.
And, right before I say mine, I got to say, commitment. We learned about the community, consistency. We learned a lot of great tips. So throughout this day, I hope you're going back and listen, because there's some gold there for, if you're an agent, if you're a broker, and how to market and grow your business.
Even for us. I mean, we don't know everything. Right?
We
We're
do not,
learning on
no.
the curve.
Mike likes to think he does, though.
No, I was saying we learned gold from other people, not from us. But yeah, it was a great day. Great job to Gary Fleming, Fran Reale, who's walking by. Excellent job at putting this event together.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't realize, but I get it. And Mike, I don't know if you were a part of this, but I don't know if you get what it really takes to put something like this together.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. So, we show up and we walk and we look and we say, wow, this is fantastic. But the hours and the planning and the logistics that goes into putting an event like this together is tremendous. So, again, shout out to Cyborg, their team. Mike, I'll give you credit because you are one of the co-chairs of the event. Is that correct?
No, I am not a coach. Gary and Fran co-chair. I'm just on the event committee.
On the event committee.
Little part of a big team.
All right. So then shout out to Gary and Fran, because that means you did nothing. But they did a great job, the whole Cyborg team.
When do you start planning for next year? Does it start tomorrow?
No, not tomorrow, but it's going to come very quick. Fran's going to hand over the reins now to Gary, and I'd say probably within 2 months, 3 months, there'll probably be the first initial meeting to plan.
So
be sure that all of our listeners and our viewers, just make sure that you're liking, you're following, you're smashing that subscribe button, because our real goal here is to provide value to anyone that's listening or watching. And I hope that we're providing that, and you could demonstrate to us that we are actually providing value to you by subscribing, liking, and commenting and sharing. So we really appreciate that.
That's actually something, you bringing that up is something that we don't do well. We haven't yet. And as you learn how to be able to get on new platforms and do other things, that's certain things like share, subscribe.
Yeah.
M Squared Podcast. Let's do it.
Let's do this.
That's a wrap.
Anyhow, one more time, hashtag Realtor Expo 2023. Thanks to Cyborg. Thanks to everybody who helped put this event together. I'm Dan Ryan, Mike Bloomfield,
Anthony Rapp. And that's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
Cheers.
No.